All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We'll pick this up in John chapter 5 and verse 39. So search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe but receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? For all esteem and praise to Abba and Shamahim, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, Proverbs 27 and 18. Whoso keeps the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, and so he that wait on his master shall be honored. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 17 and 17.
So for the flesh lust against the ruach, and the ruach against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the ruach, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are adultery.
Paul, he said, if you be led under the what?
By the ruach, you are not under the law.
We're going to Genesis 2 and 7. Let's just look a little bit of that in the law. Let's establish that.
And Yahuwah Elohim formed man, the dust of the ground.
Say it like you mean it. You tired? You been sleeping?
And Yahuwah Elohim formed man, the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
At this point, Paul, Romans 8 and 14.
For as many as are led by the Ruach of Elohim, by the sons of Elohim.
Now, of course, you know Adam was the son of Elohim, because when he was created, he was led by the Ruach of Elohim. Let's look at Genesis chapter 2, verse 14.
In the name of the third river, Hiddekel, that is, which go toward the east of Assyria, and the fourth river, Euphrates. And Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yahuwah Elohim commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat of it, for in the day that you eat thereof you shall surely die.
See, when he was led by the Ruach, he wasn't under the law. It wasn't no death for him. The minute he went again, you know what I heard a dude say today, man? I'm gonna ask y'all how you would explain this here. It is very simple. It ain't even a difficult thing to do. Dude said when Adam and Eve were created, they were equal. There were many people who believed that. Many people believe, read Genesis 3 and 14. Shalom, Jay.
And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, because you have done this, you, cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field, upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. And I'll put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head, you shall bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. And sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire to your husband.
See, a lot of people say, see, that's when they weren't equal because of sin. But that's not true. Adam and Eve were never equal. And where would you be able to read, Shalom, Mother Shalom, that Adam and Eve were never equal?
When he gave dominion to the man.
When he gave dominion to Adam, Eve was never equal to him at any point in time. Just because he took Eve out of Adam does not mean that they were equal. They were co-heirs. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. They were co-heirs, but they were not equal. He never gave Eve dominion. Not one time. He gave Adam dominion over the whole earth and told him to subdue it. He never gave Eve that instruction. Shoot, he didn't even give Eve the instruction on not to eat from the tree. He gave it to Adam, and Adam related to her. So that is not a level of equality. If there was a level of equality, then Yahuwah would have told her to. What am I telling her for? You the son of God, I'm going to talk to you. See, that's what people don't realize. Why would Yahuwah come talk to you when I can talk to him who comes from me? I'm not going to talk to you. That's what Adam for. And of course, you see that as your first example of an intercessor, an instructor. We hear somebody, I think somebody told Stanley that, man. Adam wasn't no prophet, you a jackass. A lot of people say a lot of things, man. I know some of y'all be like, man, you talk so, say so. Who cares? Man, look at man. I was just listening to niggas BOA stream, man. Lady jumped in there talking about divest from these fellas. A nigga was ranking on him because he looked up what divest meant. That nigga said, this nigga dumb. He had to look up what divest meant. I'm like, damn, you niggas so smart that you, okay, the man said, I've never even heard anybody. Have any of you ever heard somebody say divest from black men? I've heard this before. I've never heard it from anybody in real life.
I ain't heard about it personally, but I know what the word means.
No, I'm talking about the phrase that black women should divest from black men. That's internet talk. It really comes from one particular lady whose channel got demonetized. Who, when she started, she was an old black power chick, and then she switched to black men ain't this and black men ain't that, and you ought to divest. They call it divestors. Nobody in real life has these conversations. Nobody. This is strictly on the internet. Strictly on the internet. You know what I'm talking about? But I mentioned that to stay on the case of if an individual is saying we want to divest from men, you really want to divest from Yahuwah because you're going to have to go to a man to get to God. But it really just go to show that people don't want God. They don't want nothing to do with him at all. And most people who in the word, they don't want nothing to do with it. Everything is for show. Everything is for this. Everything is for that. Niggas is playing. Niggas is dumb for real. You know what I'm talking about? And we think that junk cool because you think that junk matter because a nigga black. You gonna black your way to hell with that stupid junk, man. Because I don't give a damn how cool you is, bro. I'm not rocking with no information that I know gonna take me to hell. I bet I won't. You can do what you want to do. You know what I'm talking about? But one thing I bet you could go in this text and anybody who wasn't teaching what Yahuwah said to teach, Yahuwah said even worse about them than what I say. He said even worse. You know why y'all think that way? Most people think that way, honestly, because you think Yahuwah some type of goofy. This man don't fool with people who don't fool with him, or who he has not sent to represent him, or speaks falsely of him to the people, which caused the people to trust in a lie. That man don't fool with people like that, man. Now imagine if you was somebody, right? Imagine if you was Yahuwah, if that was even possible for us to even imagine. And you send people out to give instructions that come from you, and it's other people speaking in your name, saying stuff that you did not say, causing your intended audience to believe something different than what you wanted them to believe. How would you look at that situation? You're going to sit there, I love them people, you know, they my people, you know, they trying. You know, they'll get it right when I get back here and straighten it out. Absolutely not. You're going to be enraged. Pussy nigga, I ain't seen you. Why are you speaking on me? I don't even know you. I ain't even told you to do this. Why are you doing it? You causing the people to trust in a lie. And you think I'm cool with it because you Israelite or because you black or because you felt like you were doing the right thing. You can feel like you're doing the right thing and go to hell. Because the book say there's a way that seems right unto a man, and the end thereof is death. So it don't matter if your intention was good. If it's not just before Yahuwah, you're going to go to hell. Ain't nobody going to tell you that, though. They're going to make it seem like it don't matter. He'll straighten it out when we get to the wilderness. No, you're going to die. Hey, man, give me Jeremiah 26, man, for this point that I keep mentioning, man. Shalom, bro. Jeremiah 26, man. Tell me what verse 18 say real quick.
Say Micah, the Morasite prophesied in the days of Hezekiah, king of Yehuda, and spake to all the people of Yehuda, saying, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Zion shall be plowed a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountains of the house as the high places of a forest. Did Hezekiah, king of Yehuda, and all Yehuda put him at all to death? Did he not fear Yahuwah and besought Yahuwah, and Yahuwah repented him of the evil which he pronounced against him? Thus we might procure.
I got you in the wrong place. It's chapter 28 that I want. Jeremiah chapter 28. Verse 10. Matter of fact, Jeremiah 28 and 6. I just want y'all to hear this here because this is important for what I'm talking about, because this is what I'm really referencing when I say that you cause people to trust in the lie. He said in a few other places, but this one here is more specific. Jeremiah 26:6 or 26:5.
So then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah in the presence of the priests and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of Yahuwah, even the prophet Jeremiah said,
Let's sit back up, right? We didn't read it all the way to the top, but Hananiah told the people that within 2 years they would leave Babylon. Now, the man had already said that they would be there for 70. I'll read the verse for you. Matter of fact, I'll do it because my mind won't move. Look here, right? Jeremiah 28:1. Listen to this here, right? And it came to pass in the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zechariah, Malachah, Yehuda, in the 4th year, in the 5th month. Shalom, Brother Marcus. Amen. Hananiah, the son of Azor, the prophet, which of Gibeon spake unto me in the house of Yahuwah, in the presence of the priests and all the people, saying, he in the temple of Yahuwah saying this now. Thus speak Yahuwah of hosts to Elohim and Yasharal, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 years, 2 full years, will I bring again into this place the vessels of Yahuwah's house that Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, took away from this place and carried them to Babylon. And I will bring again into this place Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, Malachah, Yehuda, with all the captains of Yehuda that went into Babylon, saith Yahuwah, for I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of the priest and in the presence of all the people that stood in the house of Yahuwah, even the prophet Jeremiah said, amen. You notice what he didn't do, what you nigga do? He didn't debate with him. Oh, he said, that's what Yahuwah gonna do? Amen. Let him bring it to pass then. See, you know the difference between the men who sunk by Yahuwah and men now? You want to argue like a hoe. You want to prove that this man telling a lie. Jeremiah already understood something. You know what Jeremiah understood? I ain't got to prove him a lie. Yahuwah going to do it. Because I already know what he said. That man said 70 years. Jeremiah didn't say, well, let's go get the scrolls. Can you do this and do that? He didn't care. I already know what he said. I already know this nigga lying. Amen. Let him bring it to pass then. Because what your law said, if a prophet, get it for him. Deuteronomy 18:20.
But the prophet which shall speak to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
He shall what?
He shall die.
He shall what?
Shall die.
Read it again.
But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
Every man that speak in the name of another God going to hell. Everybody who speak in the name of Yahuwah and he ain't told him to say it, going to hell. That's what your law say. Read it again.
But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
Give him the Hebrew definition of presume. I'm not saying that to be harsh. I'm saying that you understand how serious that is, man. Because we scream Torah all day long. You understand how serious that is, man? Well, if you speaking the word in this man's name and that man ain't gave you that word to speak, boy, that man said you dying. Speaking in the name of another God is obvious.
That's zoo, to boil up, to see, to act proudly, to act presumptuously, to act rebelliously.
To act rebelliously.
To be presumptuous.
To be presumptuous, to be arrogant, and to be proud. But the key thing is, shalom, Brother Ella, you rebelling against what he said. To say what you want to be done versus what he said gonna be done. Well, that's dangerous, boy. That's dangerous, boy. I'm gonna read this one more time. Jeremiah 28:6. Even the prophet Jeremiah said, amen, Yahuwah do so. Yahuwah perform your words which you have prophesied to bring again the vessels of Yahuwah's house and all that is carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Nevertheless, hear you now this word that I speak in your ears, in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before you of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied of shalom, when the word of that prophet shall come to pass, then shall that prophet be known that Yahuwah have truly sent him. Read Deuteronomy 18:20 one more time.
Say, but the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
Go ahead.
And if you say in your heart, how shall we know that the word which Yahuwah have not spoken? When a prophet speak in the name of Yahuwah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, That is the thing which Yahuwah have not spoken. The prophet have spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him.
I mean, what did he mean by don't be afraid of him? 2 Chronicles 20 and 20. This is what he mean by don't be afraid of him.
And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, "Hear me, O Yehuda, and you inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Yahuwah your Elohim."
Believe in who?
Yahuwah your
Believe in who?
Yahuwah
and what else?
So shall you be established. Believe his prophets, so shall you prosper.
See, if you believe in Yahuwah, you're going to believe in his sense. So when he say don't be afraid of them, you're not going to give them the reverence or respect. Tell them what afraid is in that passage. Let's see if it's Yahweh. You're not going to give them the respect because you know that don't come from Yahuwah. It's not that you fear the prophet. You fear the man who gave that prophet the word. You can't respect Yahuwah and you don't respect the people he sent. You're going to go to hell. That's what happened to Korah.
That's a gore, to sojourn, to abide, to dwell with, to remain, inhabit, to be a stranger, to fear, to be afraid.
To fear, to be afraid. Now, what's the thing that just came to my mind, man? Hold on. Oh, yeah. John 13 and 20. Because again, it's not the prophet who you're going to be scared of. It's he who gave the word.
Truly I say unto you, he that receive whomsoever I send, receive me.
Whosoever receive what?
Whomsoever I send.
So if a man is speaking the word presumptuously out of his own heart and Yahuwah ain't son him, that means you ain't received Yahuwah, boy. Man, just because you think somebody is Israelite and they telling you something, boy, that don't mean Yahuwah done son. If you receiving the word that a man that Yahuwah ain't seeing is saying, boy, you dying with him. You dying with him. And the sad part is that we don't think that that's important. You'll sit here and argue about everything else in the world and not understand that this man say, boy, if I ain't sent that man and I ain't put that word in his mouth, boy, and you believe what he said, you dying with him. Now, take it and do with it what you will, but you won't say ain't nobody told you. You know what I'm talking about? Jeremiah 28 and 10. Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and break it. Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years. And the prophet Jeremiah went away. He had to put on a show with it too. Let me take this yoke off his neck and break it. Let me put on a show. Because, you know, niggas love shows. You know what I'm talking about? Isaiah 30, man. 30 and 5. Niggas love a show. We still hold in Galatians chapter 5, and we good in Genesis chapter 2. If you was here when that was read, we good there.
So they were all ashamed of a people, could not profit them, nor be a help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. The burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence the young and old lion, the viper and fiery flying serpent, they will carry the riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and the treasures upon the bunches of camels. The people shall not profit. For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength to sit still. Now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book.
Where?
In a book.
What about it?
That it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
What else?
That this a rebellious people.
What kind of people?
Rebellious people.
What kind of people?
Rebellious people.
What else?
Lying sons.
They what?
Sons.
No, they do what?
Rebellion. Lying.
They lie all the time. Don't you know this man say that this people trust in lies which cannot profit? He say you lie all the time. Go ahead, man.
Lying sons will not hear the law of Yahuwah.
And you won't hear the word.
Which say to the seers, see not.
Don't tell me what the book say.
The prophets prophesy not
Stop
unto us.
Stop telling me what Yahuwah say.
Speak unto a smooth thing.
Tell me lies.
Prophesy deceits.
That boy say, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Ain't that what that nigga song, Kevin Samuels, you song? What that's? I can't even remember how that song went, man. Oh, no, that's a different song. He said, you tell your good lies. Your good lies. That's what we like out here, good lies. You think because you ain't in the Christian church, you don't like good lies. You niggas still like a nigga to lie to you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you like a nigga to lie to you. It make you feel good. You know what I'm talking about? Keep on going, man.
Say, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path.
Get you out of the way and get us out of the way of life. Oh, my Lord.
Cause a Kadash one of Yasharal to cease from before
And because
us.
of these lies, now you won't have God with you.
Wherefore, thus saith the Kadash one of Yasharal, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall.
Ready to fall.
Swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant.
Look here, that's good. That mean that man basically telling you, man, I'm going to kill you. Shalom, Brother Shaul. I'm going to kill you. You ain't going to know it's coming. Woo! Let's go back to Jeremiah 28, man. Verse 12. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto Jeremiah after that Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke from off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Go and tell Hananiah, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, you have broken the yokes of wood, but you shall make them for yokes of iron. For thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharal, I put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve him. And I've given him the beasts of the field also. Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, Hear now, Hananiah, Yahuwah have not sent you, but you make this people trust in a lie. You know what I'm talking about? See, this is what y'all don't sit back and realize. Do you not realize there's a lot of dudes out here, man, that got people out here trusting in a lie? See, some people will hear that and be like, he just want people to listen to him. I don't give a damn who you listen to. You know what I'm talking about? But I care about there's only one person you ought to be listening to, and that's Yahuwah. And that's your problem. You're not listening for Yahuwah. You're not listening for Yahuwah. You listening for men. You listening for this. You listening for that. I don't care where you go to get no word, boy. But you better be listening for Yahuwah. Because if you listening to somebody who causing you to trust in a lie, what you just heard what's going to happen to you. You going to hell. You're not going to hell because I want you to go to hell. You're not going to hell because I'm putting you in hell. You putting yourself there. See, that's what people like to say. You ain't got no hell to put nobody in. I sure don't. You putting yourself there. Because if you hear what the words say and you contrary to it, what you think gonna happen to you? You think he gonna give you a pass? If I'm contrary to the word, what you think gonna happen to me? No, I'm going to hell too. Let me show you one more thing, man. What that is? 2 John. 2 John verse 9. Hush your mouth, little baby.
Say, whosoever transgress and abide not in the doctrine of Mashiach have not Elohim.
Hold on, listen to him now.
Whosoever transgress and abide not in the doctrine of Mashiach have not Elohim.
That's dangerous.
He that abide in the doctrine of Mashiach, he have both the Abba and the Son.
You got everlasting life.
And if there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house.
That man say, if they not come and bring in the doctrine of Mashiach, he said, don't let him in your house. Why?
Neither bid him Elohim speed.
Don't sit back and say God speed. Don't say God be with you.
For he that bid him Elohim speed is partaker of his evil deeds.
Well, you down with it. If you know that this man is coming teaching something different than what this man said, you causing the people to trust in a lie. And if you say, go on and preach that word, brother, and wake up the people, you going to hell with him. You a partaker of his deed. That man ain't gonna be like, well, you ain't know no better. And you got people telling us that, man. Read that again. Listen to what the man say, man. Start at verse 9 again. Listen to what the man said.
So whosoever transgress and abide not in the doctrine of Mashiach have not Elohim. He that abide in the doctrine of Mashiach, he have both the Abba and the Son. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house.
He say, don't let him in your house.
Neither bid him Elohim speed.
Stop saying God speed. That's saying God be with you. That brother doing the word. Wake up your people. Boy, listen what I'm telling you, right? I don't know what everybody out here teaching, man. I know a few things here and there, but I don't know what these people teaching, man. But this man telling you, if it's not the teaching of God, he said you are a partaker of his evil deeds. Now, we're going to read what happened to Hananiah, because when you teach the people to trust in a lie, you teaching them to rebel against Yahuwah. He don't care about your intent. He don't care about how much you say. Let me be honest with you. If you're teaching lies, you don't love your people, you damn fool. You lying to yourself, telling yourself that. If you lying to people about the word of Yahuwah and Yahuwah ain't sent you, you can't say you doing this for your people. You hate your people because you giving them death. It don't matter if you know you giving them death or not. See, you think ignorance is going to give you a pass. It's not. Because you ought to know what you were talking about before you opened your mouth. And if you know Yahuwah ain't sent you to do it, what you talking about it for? If you know Yahuwah ain't sent you to teach no word, what you trying to teach other people for? I ain't talking about teaching your household. Don't get that twisted. I ain't talking about you got people in your house, you the man of the house, and you doing that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about going outside your four walls and saying, I'm going to be a light to the people. I'm going to be a give sight to the blind. Huh? And you ain't, man, look here, man, boy, if you teach wrong, boy, you going somewhere you don't want to go. Because he didn't tell you to do that. You don't read nowhere in this book with this man like, yeah, don't come at me with that. Well, if you don't walk with him, no. We ain't talking about that. Remember the apostle said, it's other that prophesy in your name that don't walk with him. He said, hey, man, if they be for us, they can't be against us. That means they had a word. Don't you know it was always other prophets and whatnot teaching word? They didn't know who Yahushua had them told to do what? We ain't talking. Don't use that as your excuse. If that man ain't sent you to do that, man, and you don't know what you talking about, man, you putting your soul at risk and everybody who listening to you. Because you're going to be teaching the people to trust in a lie. You're going to be teaching rebellion against Yahuwah. Now, you can do what you want to do. You can examine this and say, that nigga wrong, and that's your business. I don't care. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care if you agree with it or not, but the words say what it say. You know what I'm talking about? You can deal with it however you want to deal with it. I'm not finna argue and go back and forth with you. I don't care. I do not care. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care. I don't care what you do. You know when I say I don't care what you do, because one thing I know about people, they're going to do what they want to do. And one thing I know is, one thing I learned early in life is that you can't control what other people do, so why would you even attempt to try? You know what I'm talking about? Look here, man, all of us was young, and you might have had a sibling or whatever the case may be, and you told them, don't put your hand on that stove, it's hot. But guess what they did anyway? They put their hand on that stove. And it wasn't nothing you could say or do that was going to stop them from putting their hand on that stove, because they was intent on doing it. You know what I'm talking about? They was intent on doing it. And when they burn their hand, they're going to come back to you and say, hot, hot. I know it was hot. I already told you that. But you don't listen. So you had to learn that way. It is what it is. See, I ain't going to be like, I told you so. I know I ain't one of them people. Because you already know I told you, so ain't no need for me to tell you I told you so. You already know what I told you. Now let's just go ahead and pick up the pieces. But see, with this right here, man, if we lose our life, man, and we done called and we done believed in the lie, man, we can't pick up the pieces. The piece is done. We going to hell. But we don't care nothing about that. I told you this before. Over the course of 11 years, some may agree with it, some may don't. This is not a Black Power movement thing, man. This is not any of that. This is the salvation of souls. This is what the book of Yahuwah is about. This is what the word of Yahuwah is about. It's the deliverance from souls from the one thing that man can't save himself from, and that is death. And if you think it's anything other than that, you lying to yourself. You lying to yourself. This is a story about the living Elohim seeking to redeem that which he created, to form him in his image and likeness like he did from the beginning by a word, so that you could be able to do what he can do, and that's live forever, which is what he desired you to do if you would have ate from the tree of life like he told you to. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want that. You want to be a freedom fighter. You want to be an activist. You want to be a protester. You want to be a revolutionary. You want to be a businessman. You want to be everything but a son of Elohim like he wanted you to be. Because that man don't give a damn about none of that stuff. That stuff get esteem from men. Now, don't get me wrong. None of them things that I said, ain't nothing wrong with them on the natural tip. But Yahuwah don't care about none of that. You know how we know Yahuwah don't care about none of that? Because Lazarus wasn't none of them things, and he loved him. Lazarus wasn't none of them things, and he loved him. He wasn't none of them things. Ever, at any time. So that man don't care about that. That's the stuff we care about. You got to learn about what he care about. Because he's not looking at you like we look at each other. He don't care nothing about that. You think he care? I done told you this before. We just mentioned, right? He said if you mention the name of another God, you go into hell. A lot of people feel like Yahuwah would love Malcolm X, but he was mentioning the name of another God every day of his work. You think Yahuwah care about everything he was doing when you were causing the people to trust in a lie and to teach rebellion against me? You think he gonna wink an eye at that because you like what he did? But he go along with what he stand for. But he went against the one thing he said not to do. The first instruction he gave them when he came on that mountain to talk to him, when he said, don't come at your wives for 3 days and wash your stinking behind. He said, don't you make no mention of no God and put no other God before me and bow down and worship it. Did not this man go down and bow down and worship at a rock? So you think Yahuwah just going to erase all that because you like what he did for the people? That means you care about what man do for man more than what man do for Yahuwah. That is not a place to be. It's not. That man don't care about the stuff you care about. You better learn about what he care about. See, it's the same stuff you see on the internet where people be arguing about men tell women what they want and women tell men what they want. That's what you do to Yahuwah. Yahuwah telling you what he want, but you telling him what he want. And he done told you what he wanted. And he done told you what he going to accept. And he done told you what he ain't going to accept. But you telling him, nah, you don't want that, God. Yeah, I might have did this over here, but I did this too. It ain't no balancing it out. You got to be all in or you all out. You got to be all the way godly or you're nothing as far as he's concerned. Look here, man. Out of all the quote unquote revolutionaries and activists that we could think of in the 20th and 21st century in the United States of America, just exclusively, how many of them stood for Yahuwah? How many of them preached Yahuwah? How many brought any sinner out of sin to Yahuwah? How many of them were living godly lives all the way through? Or were there blemishes of sin that could have been seen? And you think Yahuwah accepting that? See, we want him to accept that because that makes us comfortable with what we're doing. So then we convince ourselves that he will accept us too. And he's not. Because if he didn't make any concessions for his own son, if he didn't spare chastening his own son, I don't know how we think we get in the way. I don't know how we think that. That man didn't even go against his word for his own son. This man didn't even go against his word for Adam. In all intents and purposes, Adam was his son. He chastened his son and put him out. He didn't even go against his word for Adam. He didn't go against his word for Yahusha. What make you think he gonna do it for you? What make you think he gonna do it for me? What make you think he gonna do it for we? Why you believe that? That's persuasion. Come from your flesh and it come from the devil. It don't come from Yahuwah because he ain't never told us that. Ever. Not one time. And it seems like every brood walking the earth, for the most part, are scared to tell us that. You know what I'm saying? And we have to evaluate that. Is Yahuwah really sending these people? Has he literally put a word in these men's mouth? You're supposed to be more discriminatory. What I'm telling you is that you got to have some type of discernment. Because if you ain't got no type of discernment to discern the voice of Yahuwah and where the Ruach of Yahuwah is present, that means you don't know God. And that's scary in itself. Because if you don't know him, that means you ain't got no understanding. If you ain't got no understanding, you worthy of death. That don't bother you. Let me finish reading this verse 15 one more time, man. Jeremiah 28, that is. Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, hear now, Hananiah, Yahuwah have not sent you, but you make this people to trust in a lie. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, I will cast you from off the face of the earth. This year you shall die, because you have taught rebellion against Yahuwah. Woo! Because he told them people they were going to leave in 2 years when the man said 70. But that's what the people wanted to hear. Man, I'm telling you, boy, if you teach wrong, boy, you're going to hell. And everybody who listening to you going. That's dangerous, man. See, some people look at, well, that's just doctrinal debate. I don't give a damn about no doctrinal debate, bro. I'm not on that. I said if you teach wrong, boy, you can take them doctrinal debates and shove them up your butthole. You know what I'm talking about? Because most of the stuff that dudes arguing about, that's just, I want to be smart conversations, man. I'm talking about people's lives here, man. We ain't talking about no stupid stuff niggas argue about ad infinitum all day, every day. Give a damn about none of that. But we talking about people's lives here, man. And if you don't got it misconstrued that this is about people's lives, you hate God and you definitely hate his people. Ain't no way you love God and you don't understand that this is about people's lives. We talking about gives a damn about a doctrine. Because anybody who know me know I don't debate no nigga about no doctrine. I'm not asking nobody what their doctrine is. I don't care. Who we done talked about it plenty of times. You know, we done been a few places, met a few brews. We ain't never asked them what your doctrine is, brother. We ain't even had them type of conversation. I'm a real person. That's not the first thing I'm thinking about when I meet a dude, man. I wonder what his doctrine is, so I can see what he believes, so I can destroy his doctrine. You are certified super goofy if you meet a man and that's what's on your brain. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Man, we trying to have a conversation to kick it. We talk about the word, we talk about the word. I tell you what I stand on, you can tell me what you stand on. And that's about it. I'm not going to be going back and forth with you. And who wants to meet somebody and the first thing you want to do is have some type of pontification on doctrine and details on the word for the purpose of contention? You live a sad, sorry existence. I ain't got time for that. Why would I want to do that? That type of stuff would make you want to go smoke a cigarette. They stressing me out. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to smoke what Doris used to smoke. Doris used to smoke Virginia Slims, lights, 100s. That's what you like? Is that what you like? Or was it Lucky Strikes? Oh, so you were smoking 305. And the purple pipe? Oh, and the green pipe?
No.
I'm trying to catch you, see if you know about cigarettes. But it don't look like you don't know nothing about no cigarettes. So you were smoking Newports. Cool.
I mean, I didn't smoke Newports, but I did try one before.
Oh, so you were smoking Cowboy Killers.
My dad smoked Newports. That's like the number one cigarette.
That's the number one cigarette for niggas. Yeah. Cowboy Killers is Marlboro.
Yeah, that's my dad used to smoke.
Well, your daddy smoked Marlboro? Y'all niggas up north, y'all different.
Like you said,
I can't say nothing because y'all have mercy on us soul. Grandma Simple smoked Winston's daily. Packs.
What you used to smoke? What cigarette you used to smoke?
I smoked Newports. And Black and Miles.
Oh my goodness.
Huh? I know Grandma smoked Winston's because I seen the pack every day. You know what I'm saying about? Granddaddy used to smoke Newport though. He slide them in there. I mean, that's what niggas had, man. Niggas had Newport, so that's what that was. Because they like the menthol.
I was about to say, I feel like I can smell it right now.
I don't got no flashbacks to no smell of no smoke.
Yeah,
Man. But I will say this here, y'all. When I used to smoke cigarettes, man, when you could catch the wind of what it smelled like, I used to throw that whole down every time. I'd be like, damn, this junk stink. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about the smoke. I'm talking about the actual smell of the burning tobacco. Oh, it's atrocious. It's horrible. I ain't talking about the breath, because all that come later. I'm talking about where the cigarette is burnt. See, sometimes when you smoke cigarettes, you only smell the smoke. You don't smell the cigarette. You might could taste the tobacco, but you don't smell it. That junk smell like burning mildew when you catch it. You know what I'm saying? You be like, God damn. And you just like, I can't smoke this here, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't smoke this here, man. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a terrible habit because it don't. That boy said it smelled like a urinal. Yeah. Depending on the brand, absolutely, it's horrible. You know what I'm saying? See, then when you don't smoke, you know your nose is more perceptive to picking up the stench. You know what I'm saying? When you smoke, you don't pick up the smell of the cigarette. You just pick up the smoke. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you walk in somebody's house, especially like because we be cleaning them houses out. They can't smell the smoke. When you smoke in the house, that junk stick in the walls. You know what I'm saying? That junk in the furniture, that junk in the walls. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know how people smoked in the house. Because the only thing I would smoke in my house was marijuana. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke back in here.
For some reason.
You know? Oh no, it sticks. You smoke enough, it sticks. Certainly do. Stick right in there. You know how I know that? Because that junk stick in the car. No, it stick because it's smoke. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter what the product is. The smoke is gonna stick in the walls. if you smoking crack, if you smoking meth, I'm being dead honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in houses of people who use drugs, and that junk, you can smell it. It's sticking there.
Well, yeah, they smoking if they don't keep windows.
Yeah.
You can keep it at your house.
Yeah, you got to have ventilation. Most people ain't finna do all that. Yeah, cigarettes bad, man. And I just say this for any of y'all on here, man. If y'all smoking cigarettes, man, put them hoes down. Cause that, and I'm telling you this, because this is a conversation I used to have with dudes in the street, man. When I was first in the word, and brothers would talk about their struggles about smoking cigarettes and this, that, and the third. I'm like, that's your flesh that desire that. Your spirit don't desire marijuana. If anybody telling you that marijuana is spiritual, that nigga's a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? That nigga's a crackhead, bro. Shalom, brother friends. I ain't even trying to be funny. That nigga's a crackhead in a literal sense. Because what does the spirit need with marijuana? Understand this. I'm trying to be very here specific. Marijuana is a depressant. It is a slower down of the central nervous system, akin to heroin. You know what I'm saying? Heroin and marijuana are both depressants. They slow down the central nervous system. So if it slows down the central nervous system, what does this have to do with your spirit? So your spirit is comprised of your central nervous system, because inversely, methamphetamines and cocaine are stimulants. They speed up your central nervous system. It's the same way if you lift weights. If you lift heavy for an entire period of time, your central nervous system will shut down. That's how injuries happen. That's how I initially hurt my back doing that pt5 too long, doing heavy deadlifts and heavy squats. It's only so much your central nervous system can take. So if you smoke enough marijuana is going to make you go to sleep. If anybody's ever been around a heroin addict, when they own enough heroin, what do they say they known to do? To lean and nod. So what does this have to do with your ruach, much less the ruach of God? That's your flesh lying to you. So because your flesh is lying to you, you will go in the text to search something out to justify the lie that your flesh is telling you. So that's when he say the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. That's why he's telling you that, because your mind will lie to you to justify what feel good to you. You understand? See, we going back because we started in Galatians 5:16. Do you see that? That we bring it all back with the saying. You see how you do that? That's boom. You don't know nothing about that. You weren't around in them days. Come on, Galatians 5:16. You weren't around in the boomerang days. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my nigga Langston, man. You know what I'm saying? You weren't around for that.
I say then, walk in the ruach, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
So if you around here thinking that marijuana, cigarettes, alcohol, all this stuff, all it's going to fulfill is the lust or the desire of what is pleasurable to your flesh. That's all it's going to do. Now, we looked at earlier before we got into this stuff with Jeremiah in the aspect of when you were in the ruach, you were not under the law, because as long as Adam was walking in the obedience of faith to Yahuwah, he was not under the law. When he ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he was under the law. He had to die because that was the edict. Continue.
For the flesh lust against the ruach, and the ruach against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would.
And that's what you seen when you seen that with Eve, when she was talking to the serpent about what Yahuwah said versus what her flesh wanted, because the flesh was lusting against the ruach, so she couldn't do that which it is that she ought to do. That's what you have to sit back and understand. Ask yourself, what level of godliness were you walking in when you were smoking marijuana? What level of godliness you walking in and you walk around here drunk every day? What level of godliness you want? What level of godliness is being executed smoking cigarettes and Black and Miles? What level of godliness are you? And remember, what is godliness? Is faithfulness. How you faithful to you who are doing that? What does this see? The problem is you were more worried about what you want to do versus what's pleasing to him. That means your heart is not in the right place. There's something wrong with your mind, because you want to justify you instead of being justified by him. And that ain't the way to live. Come on, man.
But if you be led of the ruach, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before.
Now listen, give him a definition of drunkenness.
Methe, that's intoxication, drunkenness.
So listen, right? He said intoxication is a work of the flesh. That's what it said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you smoke marijuana or use any type of narcotic, what type of test do they give you? What do they call it? They usually give it to some people when you're dead. Sometimes they give it to you when you're alive. But you'll usually hear this term when somebody dies. A toxicology report. Now notice the key word in the beginning of that word. Toxic. And where did that? Intoxicated. It was more than likely where that would come from because of an intoxicant in your body. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about it as forth as trying to be old super. You know what I'm talking about? What's the word you're looking for? What's the one? Etymology and all that other type of stuff. It's just simple common sense. If they call it a toxicology report and they're testing for outside substances, they're testing for outside substances to see what had you intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? Not that necessarily these things are toxic per se. I mean, they are, depending on what it is that you're taking. Because I don't care how much weed you smoke, it's damaging to your lungs, you big dummy. You can't, if you inhale smoke in the house when it's on fire, what's going to happen to you? You're going to die. Have you ever heard of smoke inhalation? So if you tell me if something is burning and you inhale the smoke and you'll die, then you ought to know that if you're inhaling smoke, regardless of what it is that you're smoking over an extended period of time, this will be damaging to your lungs. It's just a slow burn on your lungs than versus if you inhaled or engulfed a massive amount of smoke in a burning building. But if you're smoking hookah, cigarettes, you're damaging your lungs. It literally tells you how it attaches to the air sacs in your lungs. Shalom, Brother Reynolds. So that means that your lungs were not meant to take that in. That's not what he made them for. Now, of course, I used to try to explain it to the brothers in the street. I say, man, okay, you smoke reefer. All right, well and good. I say, you think you who are them sitting up in heaven smoking weed? Do you think that's what they up there doing? You know what I'm saying? And because they were asked, well, you don't say you can't smoke it. I say, well, you think they smoking weed in heaven? No, there you go your answer. Because if you're supposed to be emulating him and he ain't doing it, why are you doing it? I just seen a video where they were talking about some pastor. I think it was the pastor that said, I don't know, it wasn't the pastor that said that the Lord was a stripper. But he said, this man literally said he was laying on his bed and the Holy Ghost told him to cuss. He said, to reach the people I want. I done told you about this as forth and sound doctrine is concerned. If you won't teach it to your kids, you ain't got no business talking like that. Because if you want to use your words, that's your business. But I bet not never catch any of y'all chastising, disciplining, or correcting your children for using the same verbiage you use. Because I'm going to tell you a hypocrite in the moment you do it. Because if you yell at them, if you threaten to pop them, if you threaten to discipline, if you threaten them in any kind of way, and they learn that verbiage from you, then you know you ain't got no business talking like that, and Yahuwah will use that child to let you know you ought to go to hell for being a hypocrite. Don't be walking around here getting upset with them children about no type of word if you using it. Because it say teach sound doctrine. That means it's wholesome. Everything that we do, you supposed to be able to teach it to your kid. And if you won't teach that to your child to do it, then you ought not to do it. Because you better not discipline them for it. You know what I'm talking about? Don't discipline them for it now. Don't get up mad if they do all around here. Like I said, I won't get mad at none of them kids. And they say, he's a jackass. I'm going to ask them, do you know what that means? Do you know that's an animal? And do you also know it's a euphemism for a very incompetent man? A man of low degree and low intelligence. Simple as that. Because if I say I ain't got no problem with them saying it, I don't know what verbiage y'all niggas use, but I done told you this before. If you don't want your kids talking like that, then you don't got no business talking like that. Because they should be able to hear any word you use. That's what it said now. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's simple as that. Because this dude was like, F you MF, listen that in the third. Man, I'm not going to be talking like that, bro. Because I don't want none of them talking like that. I don't want you walking around here calling nobody no female dog like that's random talk. F you, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? They don't even understand the concept of what that word even means. Because now you're going to have to explain that. And then, you know what's funny? You're going to probably be apprehensive of having a conversation with them about sexual intercourse. You ought to. I've been told you, with all your children, you should have been had a conversation about people touching them improperly, and you should use very plain language so they can understand it plainly, so they can talk to you about it plainly. God forbid if somebody attempted to do it. You know what I'm talking about? All that baby talking and all this stuff and trying to use big cute, better talk to them like they grown so they can communicate to you like they grown. You know what I'm saying? I've been told you that. I ain't with all that using all that cutesy stuff and all that there with them children. Nigga, that's a man child. That's a young lady. Better talk to them like they got some sense. You know what I'm talking about? That junk don't work, man. I'm just telling you that now. Don't be baby talk. I'm telling you that right now. Talk to him like a man. I don't care how old he is. I wouldn't care if he was 4 days old, 4 months old, or 4 years old. Don't talk to my son like that. Nah, because I don't want him growing up thinking like that. He ain't no punk hoe. That's what my man Bruce used to say. He said, "You ain't gonna make me out to be no pussy nigga." I said, "Come on, Bruce. Anytime we go to do some work, Bruce, your back hurt. You can't do it." That's the first thing he say. "You gonna make me out to be no pussy nigga." I said, "Come on, man." That's the Marine in him, though. You know, Marines are different. I don't know if none of y'all know a Marine, but Marines are different. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about a Marine, boy, he'll rather go down and be in the most excruciating pain, period, than for you to tell him that as a man he can't do something that he believes he can do. He'll rather suffer the pain. He'll rather die doing it than to say no. That's just a Marine, man. They built different. They different. You know what I'm talking about? I believe he was a Marine. If he wasn't a Marine, he might have been in the Navy. I'm not sure, but we're gonna say I believe he was, and he's a different type of dude. You do? Where you followed him at? Instagram. Oh, I thought you followed him at the store. I'm like, did that man know you was behind him? Was he nervous? Oh, no, he was a Navy SEAL, so he's drastically different. He's drastically different. I mean, because the Marines are a part of the Navy, but a Navy SEAL, yeah, he's different. They made different. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it. Galatians chapter 5.
No, 21.
Verse 21.
Envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I've told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the Malkuth of Elohim.
Listen.
But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, peace, long-suffering,
gentleness,
goodness,
meekness,
faith, temperance. Against such
there is no what?
No law.
Against such?
There is no law.
Against such?
There is no law.
Go ahead.
And they that are Mashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts.
Those that belong to Mashiach, they done put that to death. Now, I just mentioned that because we were talking about one of those fruits, and that was the love that David had for Jonathan. And that Jonathan had for David. That's what we concluded with on Wednesday. And I want to swing back to 2 Samuel chapter 1. Don Joanne, your mama gonna get you. See, you taking advantage because she ain't an optimal performance at this particular time. But you hankering for a spanking. Come on, verse 17. That's what you doing. You hankering for a spanking.
Saying David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also, he bade them teach the sons of Yehuda the bow. Behold, written in the book of Jasher, the beauty of Yasharal is slain upon your high places.
He said the beauty of who?
Yasharal is slain upon your high places.
Lamentations 2:1. Remember that Jonathan's name means Yahuwah has given. Yahuwah has given, entered into a covenant with his beloved. He gave him his robe, his garments, his girdle, and his sword. You know what I'm talking about? And he loved this man as his own soul. And you got to understand something. The beloved understood the love. This man gave his life for him for all intents and purposes. We talk about that when he said, the love that I have for you past the love of women, because greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. And if Elohim has laid his life down, we ought to lay our life down for the brethren, because he has passed from death unto life, who love his brother. See, that's what people get on. Like I told you, man, these dudes don't really, a lot of these niggas is just, look here, man. I'll be honest with you. Y'all better be glad we can't cuss like that. Because these niggas be mad with me. Now, some niggas get on here, they don't care about cussing. I'm not one of them people. I'm talking about, because, boy, it's a lot of you niggas, I don't like you niggas. You niggas is cowards. You niggas are grossly misrepresenting godliness, manhood, righteousness, camaraderie, brotherhood, and all other things of the sort. You know what I'm talking about? Because you wouldn't even understand that there, man. Now, I'm not necessarily speaking for any of you gentlemen who are on here at this present time. I'm speaking more so about a lot of niggas in general. You know the most slimy, grimiest nigga you'd ever want to see is a nigga who killed the nigga and show up to the proceedings and act like he ain't did it. Be sitting around there with your family and all. You know what type of nigga is? Type of nigga steal your stuff, help you look for it. You know what I'm talking about? Type of nigga call away telling you, man, nigga bet not never say nothing bad about you, and he the main one doing it. I hate you niggas. You know what I'm saying? You niggas ought to be hitting your groin with a baseball bat. Not with the fat part either, with the handle. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody ought to break your knees. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody ought to kick you in your hamstrings while you're walking. You know what I'm talking about? Cut a hole in your shoes and drop nails in the way so you can step on it. Anything to cause you some type of excruciating pain. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're a horrible person. Because you don't respect the sanctity of the love that a man should have for his friends. You understand? We just read that man, Proverbs 18:24, man. He said there's a love that stick closer than a brother. Man, a lot of dudes don't know that because, man, ain't nobody love them. So that's why you do all this old extra stuff, man. You know what I'm talking about? This, that, there, and the third, man. What's wrong with you niggas, man? You don't love your daddy? You don't love yourself? Okay, your daddy wasn't there for you. Okay, so what? You don't love your friends? I never understood how people could be rolling with people and you ain't fool with them like that. Because I can't do it. Because if I don't like a nigga, I'm not finna be bothered. You know what I'm talking about? If I don't fool with you, I'm not finna be around you acting like I fool with you and I don't fool with you. I'm not finna do it. I'm not finna fool with you. Like I told you before, dudes be marrying women, they don't even like them. I'm not finna be married to a woman I don't like. I'm not finna be living with somebody that I don't like her. What am I doing that? Why am I torturing my? You know how phony you got to be, man. I can't be like that. I'm not finna be like that. If I fool with you, boy, I fool with you in real life. Look here, man. It don't matter if I ain't talked to you in 6 days, 6 hours, or 6 months. Boy, I fool with you. Boy, that ain't gonna change until you dishonor yourself. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't gonna change. Like I told you, boy, pretty much every nigga I grew up with, boy, I'm still down with them to this day. To this day. You talking about since 1991 for the most of them. Boy, that's 32 years, boy. You know what I'm saying? That's 32 years, boy. I'm still down with every nigga I grew up with, boy, to this day. 32 years, man. Straight up and down. Have we had disagreements? Sure, absolutely. Them still my people, though, man. It ain't never got to the point niggas walking around talking down on niggas and this, that, there, and the third. No, that ain't happening. We gonna come talk to each other before it get like that. That's not gonna happen. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna happen. I get in the word, niggas be ready to go off on a nigga. Nigga don't even fool with nigga for real. I've been wondering what type of friends y'all have. You faking like you fool with people? You don't fool with people for real? What's wrong with you niggas? At this point, I feel like Willie D, man. You know what I'm talking about? Your mama should have swallowed you and your daddy should have pulled out. Nigga, you a waste of oxygen. Come on, man. Lamentation 2:1.
How have Yahuwah covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, cast down from Shamayim unto the earth the beauty of Yasharal?
He cast down what?
The beauty of Yasharal.
And didn't he just say the beauty of Yasharal is slain upon the high places? Go ahead and tell him what beauty is in 2 Samuel 1, man. Because that ain't talking about Jonathan and Jeremiah. Lamentations of Jeremiah to be specific. Leave your mama alone.
That's a B, beauty, esteem, honor.
He say, so the esteem or the honor of Yasharal was slain upon the high places. The esteem or honor of Yasharal was cast down to the ground. John 17:1. She working your nerves.
These words spake Yahushua and lifted up his eyes to Shamayim and said, Abba, the hour is come. Esteem your son, that your son also may esteem you. As you have given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as you have given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know you, the only true Elohim, and Yahushua HaMashiach, whom you have sent. I have esteemed you on the earth. I have finished the work which you gave me to do. And now, O Abba, esteem you me with your own self.
With the honor.
Which I had with you before the world was.
Before the what?
World was.
Before the what?
World was.
Now you notice, right? It said that the beauty of Yasharal was slain on the high mountains and cast down to the ground. Let me get the honor that I had before I was made low. Hebrews chapter 1. Nah, Hebrews 2 is what it is. 2 and 5.
Say, for unto the Malachim have he not put in subjection the world to come, whereof we speak. But one in a certain place testifies, saying, what is man that you are mindful of him? Or the son of man that you visit him? You made him a little lower than the Malachim. You crowned him with esteem and honor, and did set him over the works of your hand.
He crowned him with esteem and honor and did what?
Set him over the works of your hand.
What else?
You have put all things in subjection under his feet. For that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him. But we see Yahusha, who was made a little lower than the Malachim
for what purpose?
The suffering of death.
What else?
Crowned with esteem and honor, that he may by the mercy of Elohim should taste death for every man.
For every man.
For it became him for whom all things and by whom all things, and bringing many sons into esteem.
See that when you did all that, you almost slapped her in the face for being extra. You don't got to be extra. You don't have to be extra. It's not necessary. Just relax. Go ahead.
For it became him for whom all things and by whom all things, and bringing many sons unto esteem, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering.
Perfect through what?
Through sufferings. For both he that sanctified and
he
they
that sanctified,
and they who are sanctified, all of one.
For which cause?
He is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare your name unto my brethren. In the midst of the assembly will I sing praise unto you.
Oh, that's good. Let's come back to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 1 and 20.
Tell not in Gath, publish not in the streets of Ascalon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice, lest the daughters of the uncircumcised triumph.
You mountains
of Gilboa, no dew,
no ruach for them.
No, neither rain upon you, nor fields of offerings, for there the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, the shield of Saul, not anointed with oil. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned not back,
and the sword
of Saul returned not empty.
Saul and Jonathan,
lovely and pleasant in their lives,
and in their death,
they were not divided.
In their death,
they were not divided.
Tell them what divided means.
Parad, to separate, divide.
Now notice, right? We could go back and read Romans 6, but we're not. Because y'all know what Romans 6 say, right? He says, as many as baptized in the death of Yahushua HaMashiach, you baptized into his resurrection, right? Remember, it say you in Numbers, right? Let my last end be like his. See, you would have to understand something, man. Remember, he said, if you be Mashiach, you crucify your affections and lusts, because in death you won't be divided. You know, your dead men live with my dead body. See, when you're willing to die with the man, you won't be separated from the man in life, because you won't be separated from him in death. See, a lot of us are divided because he's died and rose, and you still alive and ain't died. And that's why you separate. Because he said Saul and Jonathan were not divided in death. If you die to your sins the way that Yahushua died to sin in the flesh, you won't be separated from it. But we're not doing that. We don't, look here, man, I'm be honest with you, man. With most brews, the one thing that we don't care to discuss is not talking about not sinning. And if we do talk about not sinning, it's simply on the things that we want to discuss, which is what the Christian church is doing that we don't agree with, or it's not eating unclean foods, or the Sabbath and feast days. We ain't really talking about the issues of the hearts of man for real, to why men feel comfortable enough to sin day in and day out and think who are going to accept it, when the man said clearly in his law, if you do well, you shall be accepted, and if not, sin lie at the door. And if it lie at the door, then it got rule over you. Man, let me tell you something, man. These niggas not telling us this here, man. Boy, as long as you fooling with sin, sin got control over you. You know how sin got control over you? Because your flesh got control over you, which means you're not keeping the fig tree. How you gonna eat the fruit? How you gonna eat the fruit if you're not keeping the fig tree? Because the fig tree is supposed to produce what we read in Galatians. Because he said he's seeking the right fruit, the summer fruit. The fig tree is the summer fruit, the first ripe fruit that he desired. So if you're not producing the love, the joy, the peace, the long suffering, the gentleness, the goodness, and the meekness, you're not keeping the tree, which means you're not going to eat the fruit. Because we said the fruit, we read it, the fruit was for the healing, right? Say the tree never stopped bearing fruit, didn't it? It said every man who didn't walk in the way of sinners or sit in the seat of the scornful, he likened them to the tree of life, did he not? Did he not also say, blessed is he who trusts in you, whose hope you who is? And he likened you to what? That tree. And he say that tree never ceased from yielding fruit. See, when you keep the fig tree, you'll eat the fruit thereof because you will always produce fruit. Because you'll be a healthy tree. Because the seed within itself, he can't do nothing but produce fruit after its kind. So if Yahuwah is Yahuwah Elohim, graceful, gracious, merciful, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, and forgiving, then he's you think Yahuwah stopped producing? Yahuwah don't stop producing. And that's why we have to keep the fig tree in order to eat the fruit thereof, because you will continually produce the fruit of God. We don't care about that. That's why I've always told you, you can't practice the fruits of the Spirit. That's not something you practice. That's something that's produced because you believe and practice the keeping or the guarding of the word. The guarding of the word through faith will produce the fruits of the Spirit, but you can't practice it. This ain't your jump shot. This ain't like here you running a route tree. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't a practice rep on your deadlifts. No, that's not what this is, man. We got the whole game twisted, and we got it twisted because people lying to us. Now, whether you know these people lying to us, that's a whole nother conversation. And when I say these people lying to us, I'm really referring to this Lamentations 2:14. Read it to them.
Your prophets have seen vain and foolish things.
They
for
seen
you.
what?
Vain and foolish things.
They
for
seen
you.
what?
Vain and foolish things for you, and they have not discovered your iniquity.
They have not. Get out of there. Get out of there. They have not discovered your what?
Your iniquity.
They have not discovered your what?
Your iniquity.
Why?
To turn away your captivity.
To turn away your what?
Your captivity.
And what else?
But have seen for you false burdens.
False what?
Burdens.
And what else?
Causes of banishment.
This man say, boy, they ain't finding out your sin so you can be free. He that commits sin is the servant of sin, and the servant abide not in the house forever. So you banished. Because they committed sin in the garden. What happened? They got what? Banished. Man, you can't be around here playing with sin and think this man gonna let you stand in his presence. Well, you lying to yourself. Man, it was funny yesterday. I didn't understand what the dude said because he was saying where the fishing holes at. But I thought he said where the good Christian holes at. I said, I can't help you with that. You know what I'm talking about? I said, shoot, I guess they be where they be. You know what I'm talking about? He said, then he says again, I said, oh, you said fishing holes. Because he should have known. And I think about it when I gave him my response, he should have like, I don't know what this nigga talking about. But I definitely thought he said, yeah, what a good Christian hole. Because looking at the old nigga, you can tell he a freak. You know what I'm saying?
They said he was too.
Yeah, I could tell he was a freak. You know what I'm saying?
I don't mind paying for it.
And then Jimmy got him around here like this here. He trying to show Civic them lady pictures. He talking about, don't show it to him. He say. I mean, dude didn't know. You know what I'm talking about? But you know, Jimmy like to mess with people like that because that old nigga was a freak. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga Jimmy said, you want some Viagra? He said, what I need Viagra for? And he said, I'm 60-some years old. If it start working, I'm gonna put a rod in it. I said, come on, man. This nigga's wild.
So it'll always be ready then.
He said, always be ready then. An old nasty man. You know what I'm talking about? It's a lot of old nasty men out here. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga said he traveled, so he gotta have something everywhere.
Yeah, this man said he been traveling and he only been home. He said maybe like 9 days all year. See, when you would say, because you know I'd be doing construction cleaning, not as often as I used to, but what you're gonna be realizing is a lot of these places that you see getting built are not being built by people who are local. You know what I'm talking about? So these people really be going from state to state doing this stuff. So we were doing that Vision Works. That company might be building out Vision Works in 15 different states. And they'll send these same superintendents and project managers to each state. You know what I'm talking about? Dudes never be home. We were doing that old folks home off Gay Parkway. Man, the superintendent there told me every city he go, he just rent a house out so his family could be there. Because where they from, he said he ain't never there. Never. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they might finish a project in Jacksonville and they might get to go home for a week and then they send them to the next state for the next job. Ain't no way. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Not if I got a family to the house.
Yeah, I think I Uber somebody like today, construction manager. He was like, he come down here for however long the project take, and it's on to the next one. Whether that gonna be a year and a half or whatever.
Year and a half. They in this different city. On to the next one.
So once the project is done,
That old dude said, I got a boat. I ain't never used it. I say, damn, why you bought it? Come on, man. Where we at with it, man? Second Samuel, man, chapter 1, verse 24.
I'm gonna get the use of mention.
Joanne, why you always touching stuff?
So you daughters of Yasharal, weep over Saul, who clothe you in scarlet with delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel.
Look at Psalm 45, since he's talking about your garments of apparel. What songs of Solomon we was in? 8 or 4? I think we was in 4. Hey, leave them alone. Leave them alone. But how about you just learn to cook then, since that's what you want to do? Come on.
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king, my tongue the pen of a ready writer.
Mm-hmm.
You are fairer than the sons of men. Mercy is poured into your lips. Therefore Elohim have baruched you forever. Gird your sword upon your thigh, Almighty, with your esteem and your majesty. And then your majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness. Righteousness in your right hand shall teach you terrible things. Your arrows sharpen in the heart of the king's enemies. The people fall under you. Your throne, O Elohim.
What you read, man?
I want you to go to Psalms 45.
Yeah, what you read? No.
Psalms 45.
I don't know what you just read. What verse you just read?
Started in verse 1.
Oh, that's why, because I ain't tell you no verse. You come here at verse 8. I'll be like this here, because that ain't what none of what I'm looking for. Psalms 45 and 8.
Say, all your garments of myrrh and aloes, cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made you glad.
Notice he said all your garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia. And this should take you back to what his name is. When Jacob put on that and Isaac got a sweet smelling savor, correct? Ephesians 5 and 1. Come here, Joanne.
Be you therefore followers of Elohim as dear sons, and walk in love, as Mashiach also have loved us and have given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet smelling savor.
Of course, you know this sweet smelling savor is something that gets accepted by Yahuwah. I just want you to keep that in mind with these garments. Psalms 45 and 9. At least you know how to put it down.
Say, king's daughters among your honorable women, upon your right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider it.
Incline your ear.
Forget also your own people in your father's house.
Mm-hmm.
So shall the king greatly desire your beauty, for he, your Lord, and worship you him. And the daughter of Tyre with a gift, the rich among the people shall entreat your favor.
The king's daughter.
All esteemed within her clothing of wrought gold.
She shall be brought unto the king.
And raiment of needlework.
The virgin, her companions.
That follow her shall be brought unto you.
Tell them what raiment of needlework is, man. Little needlework. You want some needlework, Joanne? You want some butt work?
That's Rick Ma, variegated stuff, embroidered needlework, diverse colors. Different
colors. Let's come back to 2 Samuel, man, in chapter 1. And let's see if we can piece this together. Notice he said she was covered in gold. What did David say about the young ladies? What they ought to do? Say, you daughters of Yasharal who clothed you in scarlet and put ornaments of gold on your apparel. He said, weep for them. Notice it said the king's daughter. What you think Yahushua gonna dress his daughters in? What you think he gonna put you in? Remember, because he took all that. Then he said not to wearing the gold and putting on of apparel. Didn't Peter tell you about that? Didn't Isaiah tell you how he took all that? But when it's time for you to come back home, he gonna bless you with all of that. He say, put that on, man, since he done died on the high places, man. Go ahead and remember how he put you in these things so you can remember your former days. Continue. 2 Samuel, chapter 1, verse 25.
How are the mighty fallen in the midst of battle, O Jonathan, slain in your high places?
I'm distressed.
For you, my brother Jonathan, very pleasant have you been unto me.
Your love to me
was wonderful.
Was what?
Wonderful.
Was what?
Wonderful.
Tell them what wonderful means. Your mama don't want to talk.
Palah.
Great. What up?
Marvelous, wonderful, extraordinary, separate by distinguishing action.
See, this man love was separate by a distinguishing action. And you know, Pala is usually the word that's used for wonder. When you see he said many signs and wonders, you should be familiar with it. You know what I'm talking about? His love was separate by a distinguishing act. And that distinguishing act was he was willing to put his life on the line. So again, there's a love that stick closer to a brother. And greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. And because he manifested that love, he can stick closer to you than a brother because you can receive the Ruach HaKadosh and be one with him. You know what's funny? I seen a lady earlier on one of the clubhouse rooms. She was like, I want to know the difference between the Holy Ghost and the Holy Spirit. Is there a difference? No, you laughing, but you got to understand something. Some people think it's a difference because of the verbiage. You know what I'm saying? So some people see Holy Spirit and Holy Ghost and think it means something different when ghost is just indicative of breath, which is indicative of spirit, which is indicative of Ruach, which is indicative of the Ruach HaKadosh, which is the breath of separation. You know what I'm talking about? See, it's a lot of see. One thing you don't want to get caught up in, right, is knowing a different. Remember, I told you this before. Yahusha used to go off on the teachers because they act like they knew and didn't know. He never went off on the common people. You can't get mad at the people if it's things that they don't know when they ask certain questions because they don't know. They're not an instructor. Remember what he told Nicodemus? Aren't you a master in Yasharal and you don't know this? You know what I'm talking about? You have to know the difference. Somebody who's professing themselves to be wise and an instructor of babes and a corrector of the foolish, well, nigga, why you don't know this? But somebody that's like, well, what's the difference between that and that? Man, you can't get caught up going off on them. They're not supposed to know. If they knew, they wouldn't be asking. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know when somebody's genuinely asking because they don't know, and then you have to know when somebody's asking for the purpose of trying to tempt you, to bait you into a conversation, or they may have some means to accuse you of something. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to know that. Because, you know, a lot of our people be saying slick stuff. They get bent all out of shape. Who cares? Like I heard a video dude was talking about men are better nurturers than women. And you know how he said a man was a better nurturer? Because he said, who pay for dates and who do this, that, there, and the third? I'm like, this thing's an idiot. Dude say that's courting. He said, ain't no courting. I'm like, nigga, that's not nurturing. Nurturing is aiding in the growth of development. So when you look at it realistically, from infancy to about 5 years old, the woman has a greater impact of nurturing. And the aiding in the growth and development of the child from infancy to 5 years old, that is when her impact is at its highest. Once that child goes to become the 5 years old and on up, that's when it transitions to the father, and his impact is going to be just a tad bit greater than hers. You see, some people look at it and say, why it can't be the same? Why are you worried about it being the same? The impact is different. That's why I told y'all, man, when a nigga become grown, can't no woman be telling my woman is a nurturer. She can't nurture me, nigga. How's this grown woman going? If you're a grown man, how is she aiding in your growth and development, sir? That was your mama and daddy's job. She can't nurture you. The text say you're supposed to nurture her. You know, that's what people say all the time, right? I need a nurturer. What you need this woman to nurture you for? What area of life is she gonna aid for you to grow and develop in that you need her to nurture? You as a grown man. Because if you need that woman's aid in your nurturing and your growth and development, you didn't need a wife. You need the Lord. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, you need the Lord. Because her nurturing shit, you would want to be able to see how can she nurture children. Not nurture your big grown rusted behind, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That don't even make common sense. That's just a bunch of beta male sent mangina talk from niggas who just say some stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I need a woman who could. I seen a dude say, I need a wife for emotional support. You need the Lord. Because if you're looking for a woman for emotional, I literally heard a dude say, I need a woman for emotional support. Then you don't need a wife, sir. There's something wrong with you. You need a woman to emotionally support you as a grown man? That ain't good. That ain't good at all. I don't even know what to say to that. You know what I'm saying? But I know one thing.
He ain't had no male influence.
No, it sounds like he ought to be embarrassed. Because I would have been embarrassed to get in front of any camera or any person and say, I need a woman to nurture and emotionally support me. And I need her to be my peace. I say, yeah, you got a cooch between your legs. Because who are your peace? You giving, and I'm not saying this because of a woman, you giving too much away to flesh and blood that belong to God. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with because it's a woman. You putting too much on her that she ain't supposed to be carrying. Yahuwah's supposed to be carrying that. You know what I'm talking about? Because if that's the case, when stuff get difficult and tribulations come, you're going to lean on your wife instead of leaning on Yahuwah. And your wife going to fall over. Because her back ain't strong enough to carry all that. And you know how we know that? And that ain't being funny. Because when y'all come with child, y'all back go to hurting. Because that extra weight in your body, it put pressure on your back. It's not comfortable for you. Because I can only imagine having good 20, 30. Well, I guess some people can imagine because they fat. You know what I'm talking about? See, we were talking to Jim about that. Jimmy be talking about, man, he be saying these women be fat, man, these women be thick. I'm like, boy, you be looking at women look like butterball turtles, bro. And because she got a little bit of booty, you be like this here. This woman had cafeteria lady arms. He talking about, bro, she thick. I say, bro, that woman look like she 225 pounds. But you know what was funny when I seen, I looked it up, right? They say the average weight of a black woman in America is 180 pounds. I said, wow. They say the average weight for a man, black man, is 198 pounds. But you know what's even iller? They say the average weight for a white woman, 170. So I'm like, shoot, they ain't too far from it. So you know what that told me? Everybody in America fat. That's what that told me. American problem. That's an American problem. You know what I'm saying? I can't even put that. But what I would tell her, I say, man, a lot of people don't lose weight because you tell them, ain't nothing wrong with you. When y'all start to lean down, the first thing other women tell me, you starting to look sick. No, you starting to look normal. You so used to a nigga around here looking like doggone Grimace, you know what I'm talking about? That you think there's something wrong with because I got a healthy weight. You supposed to be able to see my cheekbones. I'm not supposed to be fleshly and doughy. But I just tough. I was telling this nigga, like, bro, but when you ain't supposed to, and women ain't supposed to be walking around here weighing 200 pounds, bro. All that made me think about when that nigga Kevin Samuels say, man, you big as Emmitt Smith. You can hit the A gap like a mother sucker. I said, boy, that nigga, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? I was watching it live, but the look on his face when he said it was hilarious because he was being funny, but he was serious at the same time because this woman said she was 215 pounds. I'm like, damn, nigga, I'm 240. Shoot, I didn't get over 200 pounds till I was in my 30s. I had to be about 33, 34 years old before I got over 200 pounds. You know what I'm talking about? Well, this chick's 16 years old, 200 pounds. And she don't play no sports. And we think that junk cool, man. And I ain't even saying that for the aesthetics. I'm saying that for your health. You know what I'm saying? Bump the aesthetics. Man, you know how hard your heart got to work when you carrying all that extra weight? Well, you know how hard your liver work when you carrying around all that extra weight? Do you understand the stress your intestines are under with the backlog of food that's going through your digestive tract when you carrying that kind of weight?
That dude couldn't agree with Jimmy on that one. He's like, man, I don't need no woman that's 200 pounds.
Yeah, that dude, that Fred freak, he said, no, I can't do nothing with that. 200 pounds?
Dude, that nigga said, I'm a skinny man. Shoot. He said, if I can't do this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody really focus on the aesthetics, but it's more so because they say that even like with bodybuilders, especially when the boy be on steroids, man, when the boy get on steroids, man, they heart be the size of a baseball glove. That's why a lot of them be having heart attacks. Because when you gain muscle mass, your organs get bigger. You know what I'm talking about? So then when you take them steroids, that make them get even bigger. Oh yeah, you didn't know that? I sure everybody know that. You get bigger muscular, you know what I'm saying? Your organs get bigger to compensate for the oxygen intake. You know what I'm talking about? But so I don't take steroids, so there's that. You know what I'm talking about?
You may say steroids, you said that's an additive.
Yeah, it is, but it's not that bad if you natural. It doubles the impact if you take steroids. That's why the dude bodybuilder, what his name is, Rich Piani, he died from a heart attack. There's several fitness influencers, them niggas died from heart attacks because them niggas was on steroids. You know what I'm talking about? Heart got too big and it busted. You know what I'm saying? I understand why they take steroids because they was making money off of it. I don't understand anybody taking steroids and you just go to your local gym because it's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want acne and little testicles. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an advocate for steroids. Some people are advocate for testosterone replacement therapy, but I would say talk to your doctor about that. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got my testosterone levels checked yet, so ain't no telling where they at. Because there's certain things that come with that when your testosterone get low. Yeah, it definitely is because it's synthetic testosterone. It's not as bad as steroids though. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of bodybuilders be like, "You're not natural. You're on TRT." Yeah, TD nuts. You know what I'm saying? My doctor gave it to me. Go to hell. Just my testosterone as well. You bastard. Come on, man. Oh, we good right there. What we was in? Songs of Solomon 4. We was in Songs of Solomon 8. I can't remember. I'll know when I look at it. We was in Songs of Solomon 4. Let's go back to Songs of Solomon 4 and 1, man. Joanne, you want pop. That's what you want. We're going to give you what you want, too. You jughead, baby. Songs of Solomon 4 and 1. I did tell y'all to pay attention to that. In this instance, the king is offering his love to his wife. Let's look at John 3 and 16 before we go any further with that. Make it verse 14.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Mm-hmm. For Elohim sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Mm-hmm. He that believe on him is not condemned, but he that believe not is condemned already, because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of Elohim. Mm-hmm. This is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love what? Darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil.
Because their deeds were what?
Were evil.
Were what?
Evil.
I'm talking about the word of Yahuwah like lights to roaches. Sinners get missing. Come on.
For everyone that do evil hate the light, neither come to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
Lest his deeds should be what?
Reproved.
His deeds should be what?
Reproved.
Let me correct you, you ugly bastard.
But he that do truth come to the light, that his deeds.
You do trucks?
True. Come to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Elohim. After these things came Yahushua and his disciples into the land of Judea, and he tarried with them and baptized. And John also was baptizing in Anon near to Salem.
That's good. Come on back to Songs of Solomon 4.
Behold, you fair, my love. Behold, you fair. You dove's eyes within your locks, your hair as a flock of goats that appear from Mount Gilead. Your teeth like a flock, even shorn, which came upon from the washing, whereof
we talked about verse 2 already. Come on.
Everyone bare twins, and none bearing among them.
Your lips,
like a thread of scarlet.
Your speech,
comely.
Your temples,
like a piece of pomegranate within your locks.
Now pause. Why is this important? He said your lips are like a thread of scarlet. Tell them what thread of scarlet is, man. Why is that important? Your lips are like a thread of scarlet.
Thread is a thread, a cord, a line, or string.
A cord, a line, a string.
Mm-hmm. Scarlet is Shawnee. That's scarlet or crimson.
Shawnee. Talk to me, y'all. Thread of scarlet. What comes to your mind when you say your lips, right? Or like a thread of scarlet and your speech is comely? Tell them what a temple is. You know what a temple is? Don't got to worry about it. I'm going to bust you right in the temple of your head right now.
That's Rakah, temple, the temple of the head, or the temple of the head, the side of the head.
Side of the head. He said the side of your head is like a piece of pomegranate within your locks. But your lips like a thread of scarlet. This mean anything to any of y'all? This means something to you, boo? Doris? call you. We're gonna rename you Phyllis Dillon. You're gonna become a Jewish lady. You used to hang with them Jewish women, didn't you? You got on a Jewish lady's hat.
I definitely used to serve.
You used to what?
Like, service things.
Nigga, what? How you living?
They love Gap food. That's all they do is shopping now.
You said you used to service. Oh, you don't know what that means. Clearly, you don't know what that means. You're supposed to pause that. You're supposed to pause that. I serviced them. Nigga, what?
They do the first ones come in the door, the last ones and they're very rude.
They're very rude.
Very rude.
Yeah, that's what we was looking at. What that we was looking at? Oh, Burial. And then that movie, that dude was Jewish dude. He was arrogant. He was very arrogant, man. It was funny because in the movie, buddy say, I don't want $100 million. I want to bankrupt you. And then he eventually, that don't really happen. You know what I'm saying? It was funny because the lawyer who Jamie Foxx played, I think I seen his picture. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Oh, go ahead.
So your neck like the Tower of David.
No. Not bad. Nobody got anything for a thread of scarlet? Nothing for a thread. No. Well, let's take a look. Let's go to Genesis 37. It could be 38. It's 38. Genesis 38. 38 and 25. Bop. Come on.
When she brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these I am with child. And she said, discern, I pray you, who are these, the signet and bracelets and staff. And Yehuda acknowledged and said, she have been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins in her womb.
What was in her womb?
Twins. And it came to pass when she travailed that one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying,
what type of thread?
A scarlet thread.
What kind of thread?
A scarlet thread.
Well, tell him what scarlet thread mean here.
Shawnee.
Same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Saying, this came out first. And it came to pass as he drew back his hand that, behold, his brother came out. She said, how have you broken forth this breach upon you? Therefore, his name was called Pharez.
Mm-hmm.
And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand. And his name was called Zerah.
Tell him what Zerah means.
That's a rock, or that means rising.
So the rising had the thread on his hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he that came to the breach came after that, right? So come on back to Songs of Solomon, chapter 4. What verse it was?
That was verse 3.
Read verse 3 again.
Your lips like a thread of scarlet.
So your lips are like a what?
Thread of scarlet.
And what else?
Your speech comely. Your
now
temple.
tell me what lips is.
Safa, that's lip, language,
Shalom,
speech,
Sister Kelly.
shore, bank, brink,
So
brim,
your
side.
speech is like a scarlet thread.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to what that is. Ecclesiastes. What it is? Chapter 4. Let me see. Now you ready to go to sleep? Little book of boot. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9.
2 better than 1, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him alone when he fall, for not another to help him up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? If one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Tell them what that 3/4 chord means.
Threefold is shalash. To do a third time, to do 3 times, to divide in 3 parts.
Mm.
Then a cord is kut, a thread, cord, line, or string.
So listen, right? He said your lips or your language is like a scarlet thread. That scarlet thread, you had 2 twins, did you not? And one of them's name was Rising, was it not? Then he said a 3/4 cord can't be broken. So what would you take from that? Well, let me help you out. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 5.
Who is he that overcome the world, but he that believed that Yahushua is the son of Elohim? This is he that came by water and blood, Yahushua HaMashiach, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Ruach that bear witness, because the Ruach is truth. For there are 3 that bear record in Shamaim, the Abba, the Word, and the Ruach HaKadosh. And these 3 are one. These
3 are what?
Are one. And there are 3 that bear witness in the earth, the Ruach, the water, and the blood. And these 3 agree in one.
These 3 what?
Agree in one.
Go ahead.
If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Elohim is greater. For this is the witness of Elohim, which he have testified of his son.
So you see how his lips are like a scarlet thread? Because they tie you to him. So let's look at John 14 and 23.
Yahushua answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Abba will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. He that loved me not, keep not my sayings, and the word which you hear is not mine, but the Abba's which sent me. These things have I spoken unto you, being present with you. But the Comforter, the Ruach HaKadosh, whom the Abba will send in my name, he shall teach you all things.
He shall do what?
Teach you all things,
and, what else?
And bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Shalom, I leave with you.
That's good. So you see how his lips are like a thread of scarlet? That thread of scarlet is forth is linking you to the rising. His words will cause you to rise. Or, you know what it is? Ephesians 5 and verse what? 10.
Proving what is acceptable unto Yahuwah, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are approved are made manifest by the light. For whatsoever do make manifest is light. Wherefore he said, awake, you that sleep.
Awake, you that what?
That sleep.
And what's going to happen?
Arise from the dead, and the Mashiach shall give you light.
Well, he'll give you rising. He'll rise you from the state of destruction that you're presently in. And this is what happens when you keep the fig tree. You can eat the fruit thereof, because the fruit is life. Let's come back to Songs of Solomon chapter 4. We in verse 4.
Your neck like the Tower of David, built for an armory, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers, all shields of mighty men.
Now tell them what neck is by definition.
That's savar, that's neck, back of the neck.
So what characters do we have here? Let's take a look and see.
Is that Sod, U, Aleph, and Rosh?
Yeah, so you got Sod, U, Aleph, and Rosh. This is what he says, the neck, the back of the neck. You know what I'm talking about? The back of the neck of a man or an animal. So you've been secured to the way to receive the strength of the highest. Because he said, what is his neck like? The Tower of David. Builded for an armory. What is an armory? Let's look and see. He said, this man's neck is like an armory.
Weapons, armory, armaments.
So when you look at this here, this is weaponry. Now, of course, you should probably know from the book of Proverbs, he said, the name of Yahuwah is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it, and they're safe. And he described his neck. Now, understand this, right? This is the king offering his love to his woman. Because we were talking about love in that aspect in regards to Jonathan and David. And let's look at the thing of what we talked about that first part, right? He said the teeth are like a flock, shorn, which came up from the washing, bearing twins, and none is barren. So we looked at that all those who were born of him, they bear forth fruit. Then you looked at the next part. His lips or his words, his language ties you together like a thread of scarlet because his speech is beautiful. You say your temple or the side of your head is like the pomegranate. It's forth his fruits, or in the mind It bears forth fruit. Now you look at the next part. Your neck is like the tower builded for weapons. Now we talk about with Jonathan. What did Jonathan give him? He gave him the weapons to be able to fight. Yahushua gave you the weapons to be able to fight. In case you didn't know, Ephesians 6 and 10.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahuwah and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Elohim, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day.
Take on the what?
Whole armor of Elohim.
Take on them weaponry. Tell them what armor mean in the Greek. Let's see if it means the same.
That's panoplia. That's full armor, complete armor. Includes a shield, a sword, a lance, helmet, greaves, and breastplate.
So you see that there? That's weaponry. The same thing like we seen what Jonathan gave to David. Continue.
Say, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of shalom. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Ruach, which is the word of Elohim, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Ruach, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel.
That's good, right? You know what a buckler is, Doris? A buckler. Not the buckle on your belt either, nigga. The buckle on your penny loafers. A buckler is a shield. So when you turn around and you look at this here, he said that his neck is builded for an armory where hang 1,000 bucklers, all shields of mighty men. Read in Ephesians 6 what he say that shield is for. You got to call the verse out with it.
Oh, verse 16. Say, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to
taking the shield of what?
Of faith.
Shield of what?
Of faith.
And notice how he say that his neck is like a strong tower. You can run into it and are safe. He's saying on that neck or in that armory hangs a shield, the shield of faith. What do you think is what is the shield's purpose for?
Protect.
To protect. What you think faith gonna do? It's going to protect you from all the fiery darts of the wicked. Ain't that what it said? Read it again.
Mm-hmm. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
That ain't just wicked people. That's the devil too. Let's come back to some. This is what he offering now. This is the type of see. You look at love. So when you look at the love that he's offering his word. He's offering being tied to him. He's offering washing you and that you will always be able to produce. He's offering you protection. See, get this Romans 8, man. Was it Romans 8? It's Romans 9. 9 and 1.
I say the truth in Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Ruach HaKadosh that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, or Israelites to whom the adoption and the esteem and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service and the promises, who's the father and of whom concerning the flesh Mashiach, who is over all, Elohim Baruch forever. Amen.
He said, notice he said the covenants and the services of Elohim. This is what you see Solomon offering to his love. Same thing he offered to us. Let's come back to Songs of Solomon chapter 4. Let's look at verse 4 one more time.
Your neck like the tower of David, built for an armory, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers, all shields of mighty men. Your two breasts like two young roes that are twins, which feed among the lilies.
You say your two what?
Breasts like two young roes that are twins, which feed among the lilies.
Come on.
Until the day break.
Until the wind.
Till the day break.
To the wind.
The day break.
And the shadows
flee away.
I will get me to the what?
Mountain of myrrh.
To the hill
of frankincense.
What y'all think this means? He said, till the daybreak and the shadow fleet away. He gonna get him to the sweet smell that's on Isaiah 2 and 1, so you can see that mountain of of myrrh. What is this mountain of myrrh?
The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days, the mountain of Yahuwah's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
So the mountain of the myrrh is in Zion. Now, this mountain of myrrh, or this hill of frankincense, with a daybreak and the shadows flee away. Because remember, he told you at evening time it shall be what? And when that daybreak, wickedness flee away. Because Elohim is what? Light and no part darkness. Let's come turn to Songs of Solomon 4 and 7. So now he sit back and he's showing you that I'm offering you salvation, I'm offering you life, and I'm offering you a kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell you can't walk around and say this is our kingdom. No, this is not your kingdom, because someone has to give you dominion. If dominion has to be given to you, you're not a king and you don't have a kingdom. So I mean, this is Yahuwah's kingdom. He has the dominion. So that means he sets the parameters of what will be allowed in his dominion, because you will have to be subject to his dominion and rule. That's how that works. That's how that works. The people ain't got no dominion nowhere. Because you know what you do when you got dominion, you know what you can do, you could take it. See, Adam had dominion. He didn't have to. See, when you don't have dominion, you got to ask for permission. Like I see a lot of people, they say taxes is a scam. Taxes ain't a scam. You know what a scam is? A scam is when you're being deceived into doing something. These people not deceiving you. They trade up telling you going to pay me. That's not a scam. You know what I'm saying? Like the scam is what they say that lady in the city been doing with the Airbnbs. I told you I represented one thing, but I actually did another. That's a scam. These people not scamming you. They telling you, if you make $1 million, I'm taking 50%. If you sell a house, I want 30 to 35% of the net proceeds. They're not scamming you. If you pay attention to any society, period, they always tax people. The only difference between America and others is that America tax everybody, when other cultures or other kingdoms only tax strangers. But you even read it in the text. When Solomon died, it say Solomon was taxing everybody, bruise and all. Everybody got to pay. Y'all like these people doing something different. But you know why Solomon could tax the people like that, strangers more specifically? Because he had dominion. Who were going to tell him he couldn't do it? You know what I'm talking about? See, that's what you have to understand with power dynamics. When you got power, you set the terms, you do what you want. Could we not pay taxes in America? Sure. Let me tell you something too. When they be talking about taxpayer dollars pay for this, your taxpayer dollars don't pay for nothing. To be dead honest with you, if you sit back and you take the time and look, your tax dollars don't pay for nothing. Because these people can do what with money? They can print it up when they want to. So I mean, your tax dollars ain't paying for nothing. They just taking the money because I want it. And I said, give it to me. You know what I'm talking about? And that's because they have, and guess what? You can move to another country, and guess what them people can tell you? Pay me, nigga. What you gonna do about it? You ain't got no power there. So you got to be in this position where you have dominion. Because guess what? Look at Psalm 68 and 29. Look what Yahuwah, because Yahuwah gonna be taxing. Look what he said they got to do. Or what they gonna do, excuse me.
Because of your temple at Jerusalem shall kings bring presents unto you.
He gonna tax it. Bring me my money. Let me get mine, man. I need that. Zechariah 14, man. Look at about verse 10, man. Look what he said them people got to do, man. Bring me my stuff, man. Pay me, nigga.
All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Ramon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in a place from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, the tower of Hanel, unto the king's wine presses. Men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction. But Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahuwah will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And it shall come to pass in that day, a great tumult from Yahuwah shall be among them. They shall lay hold everyone on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Yehudah shall also fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together.
The wealth of the heathen round about shall be what?
Gathered together.
The wealth of the who?
Heathen.
Shall be what?
gathered together round about.
Go ahead.
Gold and silver and apparel in great abundance.
And greater what?
In great abundance.
Let me get me meat. Go ahead.
And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in these tents, as this plague. This shall come to pass, everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Yahuwah of hosts, to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And it shall be, whoso will not come up of the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahuwah of hosts, even upon all them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not.
Pause. Let me ask y'all a question. What your law say you got to do on one thing you can't do during tabernacles? Can't come empty-handed. I need me meat. Because taxes is just tribute money. You know what I'm talking about? Remember, that's what they said to Mashiach, to Peter, your master pay tribute? It's tribute money. You're paying tribute because clearly there's a superior authority. You know what I'm talking about? See, the nations ain't coming up to pay tribute to you. They coming to pay tribute to Yahuwah. It's just Yahuwah going to allow you to benefit from the wealth because that's your husband. And since you married to him, you get to benefit off of his power, off of his dominion, off of his rule. You're not garnering any of this for yourself. Nigga, you're not that smooth. Nigga, you ain't that serious, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? That's what people don't be understanding when I tell you, when you put that into the natural sense, right? I heard a dude say today, this is no exaggeration. He said, the woman is the light of the house. He said, a man wouldn't know if he need toilet paper unless it was a woman in the house. I was like, well, damn, nigga, if you live by yourself, I would think you would know you need toilet paper because you buy it. He said, if it wasn't no woman, you wouldn't even have bath soap. I was like, damn, nigga, so you just don't know when you finna run out of body wash? Run out of soap? Nothing? I was like, nigga, this sounds horrible. You know what I'm talking about? But it's an aspect of, if you the man and you providing all that, she's not doing anything other than her job. You know what I'm talking about? That's not the light of the house if I'm supplying you what's needed in order for you to do your job. So when you turn around and you look at a man who's of means and he's looking at you like, okay, cooking, cleaning, and coochie is not going to do it. How are you going to aid and benefit me? Because if you think aiding and benefiting me is cooking chicken and cleaning and giving me coochie, then you don't even really have any benefit to me whatsoever. You value that. See, your man and them told you that men value that, but I'm a man of a certain type of status and stature, and I don't value that as highly. Now you don't know what to do. So when you turn around and you look at that when it comes to Yahuwah, the things that you value, he don't value. So how are you going to be a servant to me? How are you going to further my will? How are you going to establish my dominion? Ain't that what he said with them talents? He said, you know, I'm a man who reap and sow not. What you talking about? You benefiting off of me. Because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have X, Y, Z to be able to say that you this, that, there, and the third. You know what I'm saying? See, we don't sit back and consider those things. It's not that you so great, Yahuwah so great. You don't have a kingdom. Yahuwah is providing a kingdom. You don't have riches. Yahuwah is providing the riches. You don't have them ornaments of gold and garments. Yahuwah is providing all of that. So if he's going to provide all of that, what are you going to give him? You know what we said we're going to give him? Sin. Lukewarm faith. And he's supposed to be cool with that. That man don't want that crap. Yeah, that man don't want that. That's not a setback for you to be thinking, oh, women are this and women are that. You have to understand, son, that it's an exchange. You want great benefits with minimal labor. You're going to have to go. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he said in the parable. He said, you wicked and slothful servant. Ain't that what he said? He said, you sat around and you didn't do nothing, and you didn't give me an increase on what it is that I gave you. You slothful, wicked servant. That's what he said. He said, you weren't no benefit to me. Go ahead and kill this nigga. Take his stuff, give it to somebody else, and kill him. That's what he said. So he's letting you know, oh, if you're going to benefit off of me, you going to benefit me. Because if you don't benefit me, I'm going to get rid of you. See, more men, you ain't even talk about that. You know why you ain't talk about that? Because you worrying about getting laid instead of getting paid. You know what I'm talking about? You don't even look at a woman and think how she gonna be a benefit to my life. That would do so. You supposed to make a woman's life easier. You a damn fool. That's what helpmeets do. She's supposed to make your life easier. That's literally what she was created for. The word helpmeet literally means aid, help, and relief. So if you're an aid, help, and relief, that means you're supposed to be doing what? Making his life easier. It's not the other way around. It's not a man's job to make your life easier. It's not. That's not what you were not created for that purpose. You've allowed America to convince you that you're supposed to look at her, how you can make her life easier. Because it's not my fault if your life was difficult. Your life was either difficult because your parents made bad choices or you did. That's not my job to make your life easier because you can't think straight. You know what I'm talking about? That's not my job. That's not my duty. My job ain't coming here to help you fulfill your dreams. Because if I'm helping you fulfill my dreams, you ain't helping me fulfill mine. That means you ain't to help me. I'm to help me. And at that point, if I'm to help me, you go to work. I stay at the house and do all that stuff you say you're supposed to be doing. Because if I'm going to be the hoe, let me be the hoe then. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to be at the house. I'm going to cook and clean. I'm going to do all that stuff. If I'm going to be the woman, then let me be the woman then. Because if I'm going to be the help me, then I'm going to have to be the woman all the way through. And you're going to have to go out here and get this money. If that's what you want. Because I can't be both. I can't be the leader and be the help me. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. I
can't do both. It's impossible to do both. Because at that point, I'm not leading. I'm actually following you. The help me is to be an assister to the lead. Look at, man, I told you, I said that earlier, man. My man Pat did this here. I've been on this here. He said, man, if you want to be a leader and you want to be liked, that's insidious to your leadership. Do you not notice that Yahushua never cared about being liked? I've been told you, man, if you want to be liked, sell ice cream. But if you're going to lead, you're not necessarily going to be liked, and you can't care about that. That's why Paul said, man, I'm not here. If I was a servant of men, I wouldn't be a servant of Mashiach. If I was to please men, you cannot be concerned with being liked and be a leader. They don't go together. They don't. They don't. Absolutely not. They don't. And if you're a type of person that you care about if people like you or not, then you're not fit to lead, which is why most women aren't fit to lead. Because you don't want to make a decision where people may or may not dislike you for it. You know what I'm talking about? And that's not a negative. That's just how y'all wired. Now, some of y'all don't give a damn. But depending on who it is that you have to make the decisions for, if they dislike you, it'll bother you. See, when I say some of you don't care, it depends on who's a part of it. Because if it's people who you're not emotionally tied to, then you may not care if they like you or not. But if it's people you emotionally tied to, oh, you're going to care. And you'll waffle in your decision making because you're going to be concerned. That's why I tell you, when a lot of stuff come up within feast days and y'all worrying about satisfying and pleasing everybody, I don't give a damn who upset. I can't please everybody, so I'm not even finna try. That's another reason why women can't lead, because y'all are getting in a situation and try to please everybody. I know I can't please everybody, so I'm not even finna attempt to it. I'm not even finna let it come into my mind. I don't care. Somebody just gonna be upset. It is what it is. This is what it is, and this is what it ain't. You don't like it. What you want me to do about it? Because you'll never get anything done attempting to please everybody, or you'll stretch yourself so thin or stress yourself out because everybody has a demand and everybody has a request, and I don't like this and I don't like that. Well, guess what? God damn it, this is what you get. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm talking about? Simple as that. I'm not going through this with you. That's how people take advantage of you when you know they got that type of leadership style, because they know that you don't want to get nobody upset, and they take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? Because they know you're going to try to please everybody. I'm not going to try to please you. You know what I'm saying? Get your old lady to please you. I can't do it. You know what I'm talking about? I can't do it. I ain't even finna try. I ain't even finna try. I know it ain't going to work. Now, the reason why I know it ain't gonna work, because I done had men in leadership positions tell me, as a young man, not as a teenager, but as a young man, that it ain't gonna work. And then I've seen people who try to do it, and I've seen it don't work. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go ahead and make the decision, and that's just what it is. I told you, man, if you want to please everybody, sell ice cream. You can please everybody when you sell ice cream. Ain't too many people don't like ice cream. Even niggas who lactose intolerant like ice cream. They'll eat ice cream and deal with the diarrhea later. But if you're going to lead, You can't please everybody. It's impossible.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be unhappy.
Somebody's gonna be unhappy. And they're gonna talk bad about you, and they're gonna have a problem with you, and you can't care. Because when the decision is in front of you to be made, you gotta make it. You know what I'm saying? And if it go well, great. And if it go bad, you gotta own it. You know what I'm talking about? And then seek for the solution to fix it. You know what I'm talking about? And move forward. That's all you can do. See, everybody. So I've been told you this. Everybody wants the fanfare of leadership, but nobody wants the burden and responsibility that come with it. You know what I'm saying? What people want is they want the semblance of feeling of having power of leadership, but you don't want the responsibility that come with it. Because with leadership come responsibility and accountability. And most people, yeah, they don't really want that. You know what I'm talking about? They don't really want that. Because when the responsibility and the accountability come, and this is just not a female thing, this is a lot of dudes do it too. You want to abdicate that responsibility and accountability onto somebody else. But because you just want the power, which you want to feel like you just want to have the control. You know what I'm talking about? And see, when you're looking about having control as a man, it's not that you just want to necessarily dictate, but you want to be able to make sure that the best outcome period can come about. So that's why I can't be fooled up with, what are you thinking? What do you think? I've been told you to say you can't lead by committee. You know what I'm saying? You can have some trusted counselors before you're going to make a decision, but there's no such thing as co-leaders and a committee of leaders. All that's going to lead to disorder and confusion because you got too many different minds with many thought processes, and now everybody going to be arguing because they think their way should be best, and now you're going to try to take a bit out of his idea and a bit out of his idea and a bit out of his idea to try to please everybody, and then it blows up in your face, and you know who they're going to blame? You. So you can't do that. You have to take all the applicable information on a particular situation, look at it, assess it, pros, cons, weigh it, make a decision and go. And be able to accept good or bad what comes with that decision that you make. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is. That's how that goes. There's no other way around it. It's not no special formula. It's not, you know what I'm talking about? It's really just as simple as that. See, what most people get upset with, what if he lead me wrong? What you mean? I hate when I hear women say certain stuff like that. So what if he leads you wrong? So you haven't determined if this nigga's stupid or not? What you mean? If you've been around this nigga, you don't know if he's dumb or not? And if you've assessed that he's dumb, then why you still fooling with him? Because you know why? Because a lot of people, and this just ain't women, this is people in general. They want you to have 100% of 100% on decision making. And that's not even reality. You can't expect somebody to hit a home run 100% of the time. There are some times where you can make a decision and you can assess a situation, and then the situation don't go the way that you assessed it based off the information that you had. And it didn't go the way that you planned it. That doesn't mean that this person has faulty decision making. Nigga, that's life. You know what I'm talking about? Now, if you got a nigga and he just has a consistent stream of making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, this nigga is an idiot. But if you see someone that has a consistent pattern that they're right more often than not, then yeah, man, what you got going on, man? Because nigga, you know the crazy part is a woman will say, what if he lead me wrong? And you've been leading yourself wrong by your damn self. So I don't know how you putting all these burden and expectations on him, and you got 20 years of bad decision making. I say that because that's how we come at you. Well, what if it's this or what if it's that? What do you mean? Your track record is not peachy clean, nigga. Sometimes you just got to learn how to shut your mouth and just buy into the process and do your job. You know what I'm talking about? And continually buy into the process and execute the process relentlessly and violently day after day after day. And if you will permit, then the fruit will come from it. Niggas want the fruit after one day of working. Just because you plant the seed don't mean it's going to be some grapes in the backyard tomorrow. What do a lot of people say? Well, how long am I going to take to get the spirit? Good Lord, boy. You just learned you need to stop sinning yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You want it right now. You don't want to put it in the ground. You don't want to go through the time. You don't want to go through the process of perfection. You want the benefit now, which means you really ain't dialed into what's going on, and that take you back into not having no root in yourself. So when persecution or tribulation arise, you're going to be offended. You know what I'm talking about? And you're going to walk away.
I'm just going to skip that whole process.
You can't skip the process. You know what I'm saying? Greatness is a process and you can't skip it. You have to go through it. Yahusha didn't skip that process. He just didn't come out of Mary's womb and say, Son of God, here I am, hang me up. No, he had to go through the process. You know what I'm saying? And that process was a 3.5-year process in order to get him to the point now you are ready for perfecting. You know what I'm talking about? It's a process. So it's anything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I was skinny as all outdoors. I didn't just, I'm lifting weights. I better be muscular in 90 days. That's not how it works. It's not how that works. This is just not how that works. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't have the patience and commitment to do anything. You just want the benefit, which means you don't really want to deal with who you're dealing with. You just want what you believe that they should give you because they have it. And as a man, you have to be skillful and discerning enough and wise enough, regardless of who it is in your life, to be able to ascertain that and to see if that's the case, that you remove them people from your presence because they're not worthy to be in your presence. You know what I'm talking about? You can't have no shame as a man of saying this person is not worthy of my presence. So therefore, I will remove myself from their presence. Yahuwah has no problem doing it. He showed Saul, you're not worthy of my presence. I'm out. You know what I'm talking about? He showed our people as a whole, you're not worthy of my presence. I'm out. You know what I'm talking about? No. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to buck me. You're not going to rebel again. You're not going to do all this stuff and then still think that I'm going to stay here and allow you to be in my presence. No, I'm not. No, I'm out of here. No, I'm not doing that. See, what does society tell you as a man? That make you a good man and an honorable man if you do that. No, you're a dummy. You're an idiot. You don't love yourself. You don't value. You're stupid. No, you don't do that. The only time you allow people to be in your presence who don't deserve to be in your presence is when you don't value yourself enough to understand how valuable your presence is. It's the same way people saying, teach your sons that their body is sacred as your daughters. You shouldn't teach them that their body is sacred. You should teach them that their seed is sacred. And that you shouldn't be laying down giving your seed to anybody because it's different. It's for a woman is literally giving her body, but you're not giving your body to that woman. You giving her your seed, which is the most precious thing that you have, man. You know what I'm talking about? Your seed is the most valuable thing that you have. You giving life when you give your seed to a woman. You giving life to her. Your seed is alive. You're literally giving life to this woman. That's what you ought to teach your son. Son, value your seed because you're not giving your body to her. She's not going into you. You going into her. And when you going into her, you giving her the one thing that she can't get without you. And that's your seed. And son, you got to value that. And you won't be like a lot of these dudes. You won't be like that goofy nigga who, what it is, Achille and the B trying to get custody from, because this stupid nigga around here suplexing this woman and whatnot, and you put a seed in her. I ain't saying that because it's funny. I'm saying that nigga a damn fool. Because if it's a woman that's to the point that you feel like you got suplexer and choker and gorilla pimper and all that there, why in the hell would you put your seed in her? You know why you would put your seed in her? Because you don't value yourself and you don't value your seed, and you put your seed in the wrong woman. See, I'm not saying she the wrong woman because he put his hands on her. I'm saying she the wrong woman because you felt that putting your hands on her was the remedy for the situation, whatever was going on. Because if you get to the point you feel the need to put your hands on a woman, that's the wrong woman for you. Because the right woman for you, the thought of putting your hands on her would never cross your mind. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that would never cross your mind, man. That's not to say she did something that she deserved for him to do that. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what I'm telling you. See, I was taught this a long time ago. If I got to hit you, I don't need to be with you. I'm out. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're not the woman for me. If I get to the point, man, I'm going to choke this whole woman. You just hold her mouth. That's the wrong woman for you. That's the wrong woman for you. We're just talking about this here, man. They say Rihanna said something to Chris Brown, you know what I'm talking about, and they calls him. That means that was the wrong woman for him. A good, beautiful woman. And when I say beautiful woman, I ain't talking about how she look on the outside. A good, beautiful woman, the essence of womanhood that radiates out of this woman, the thought of cussing her out, putting your hands on her would never happen because of the level of grace, elegance, and class that she carry herself with. You wouldn't even come close. You know what I'm talking about? It wouldn't even be in a situation, but like, oh, put the on. No matter how mad she get, you know what? I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not gonna happen. You see? That's right. And he's saying that's never the remedy. It's not. You putting your hand, look here, man. Unless you got a woman on the track, and we know ain't nobody in here no pimp, you ain't got no business doing all that. And then guess what he do? Put a seed in her. Let me tell y'all young men, son, man, if ain't nobody never told y'all this before, whether you listening live or you listen later. You know what I'm talking about? Listen what I'm telling you, man. Don't let nobody tell you no different. Don't put your seed in an unworthy woman just because you want a child. You know what I'm talking about? Hold your seed and wait, man. You know what I'm talking about? Don't you live your life like that. The problems you're going to have from putting your seed in an unworthy woman is going to outweigh the fact of having a child. Your life going to be miserable. Don't do it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it to yourself. And every one of you brothers who got a son, man, you better teach that boy to value his seed. That's what you should be telling him. Son, you shouldn't be laying around with a whole bunch of women. Besides the fact that it's ungodly and unclean and profane, son, you got to value your seed more than that. You just can't be giving your seed to anybody. Boy, that seed is you. That seed is you, boy. That woman gonna carry you for 9 months. That woman gonna go through pain to birth you. Boy, you can't get that to anybody, bro. You can't get that to anybody, man. Are you crazy? Are you insane? You can't give that to anybody, man. Why you think he don't give his word to anybody? You know what I'm talking about? Because that's his seed. His word is the most precious thing he can give you. Because from his word comes his ruach. He don't give that to anybody. So if Yahuwah showing you that he value his seed, I don't know why you don't value yours. I don't know why you don't value yours. He don't get that to anybody. See, when I say he don't get that to anybody, I'm not talking about an influx of, in both instances, he don't allow that seed to bear fruit. You see that from the parable of the sower. He don't get that word to bear fruit to anybody. He may scatter the seed, but he don't get it to anybody. But more importantly, he say a steward must be found faithful. When it comes to that preacher, well, that man don't get that word to anybody, man. That seed precious because that's life. The same way I done told y'all plenty of times we went through the text. I'm not going to go through it in detail before, right? A woman's womb ain't got no life in it till the seed get in there because the life is in the seed. Well, guess what? Your heart ain't got no life in it until that seed get in there. And then it produce life. You know what I'm talking about? See, without that seed, that woman can't bring forth life. See, you can't bring forth the fruits of life without the seed being in your heart, man, because the life is in the seed. Boy, that's valuable. I say that so you can understand the value, the weightiness, the preciousness. That's why he say where your heart is, your treasure will be also. You know what I'm talking about? You got to understand how valuable the word is, man, because that's life, bro. That's his seed, bro. That's life. That's precious. That is valuable. Remember what it said in Judges? It wasn't no open vision in those days. He said, where there's no vision, the people perish. Because where there's no vision, there's no life. Where there's no word, there's no life. So the people die. How they going to live without life? Your seed is precious. It's precious. You have to understand, man, if this man calls you to hear his word, man, that man done gave you his seed. That means that man looked at you and said, you are worthy enough woman to bring forth my child. That's what he basically told you. And when he say bring forth his child, that means to produce his son in you. Do you understand that? I want you to pause and think on that for a moment, man. If this man allow you to hear, remember he said it's unto you the mysteries of God. If this man allow you to receive his seed, that man said, I found you worthy enough of a woman to produce my child. See, we don't think about that because y'all will give y'all seed to any woman with a gap. That's why I told you most women, when they think they have any type of interaction with a man, they think he want to have sex with them because they don't even understand a man who's not even motivated by sex. And just because you think you got a nice body and you cute don't mean I want to lay with you, ho. I don't know what caliber of woman you is that want to lay with you. Baby, my seed is more valuable than the pleasure your vagina could ever give. Your vagina can't give that amount of pleasure to equal to how valuable my seed is to me. See, by the grace of you, who I understand that early. That's why I ain't had my first child till I was 41 years old, man. I understood how valuable my seed was to me at a young age, man. You know what I'm talking about? I understood that early, boy. I'm not giving that to anybody. I don't care how good she look. I don't care how fine she thinks she is. You don't look, your looks and your body is not as important to me as my seed. I promise it's not. I promise it's not. It's not. It's really not. It's really not. You know what I'm talking about? Pleasure is not more important than my seed, boy. Because I'd rather go without pleasure to put my seed to be brought forth from a woman who I deem worthy enough to do it than to plant it in infertile soil to have a life of misery from being joined to a bald-headed, scallywag, dog-faced, muddy-foot, stinking hoe. And when I say that, I ain't talking about she a hoe because she's singing her body everywhere. I'm talking about she a hoe because she rebellious and contentious and spiteful in the mind. I would rather not. I'd rather have no children than to have a child from a woman like that. I don't want no child from no woman like that. I don't want no child from no woman who go outside and think it's comfortable enough for her to show her butt cheeks on the internet and look like. I don't want no child from no woman like that. I don't want no child from no angry, rude, loud-mouthed, disrespectful, cantankerous woman. I don't want no child from no woman like that. Absolutely not. And you think who would want to make a child with you, and you got that in your heart, man? All manner of contention and malice and strife and lasciviousness and murderers and adulteries and fornications and malignity, and you're a covenant breaker and all this type of stuff, and you think he want to have a child with you? Yeah, you smoking crack. Not a fact, like Jim said, he ain't smoking crack, you smoking beats. That's what you doing. That's what you doing. Out your goddamn mind, man. Come on, man. Where we at, man? Songs of Solomon 4 and 7. I'm finna get y'all off here. I know it ain't late, but I ain't gonna run you till 11 o'clock. So the door finna fall asleep. She got a hand on the hip. That's what you do in school. I understand up. Yeah. I don't know why you tired. You smoked crack before you got here. Not for real, bro. Crack only gonna have you high for 10 minutes. You ain't know that, did you? Oh, so you've been smoking?
No.
Who told you this information?
I mean, you just know.
How's just known? Where you learned this from?
From somebody who sold it.
So you hanging out with crack dealers?
No, you said crackheads?
Yeah.
You said crackheads or crack dealers?
Dealers. Oh, so you were hanging with crackheads too?
No. Crack dealers.
So you was hanging out with drug dealers? What you doing hanging out with drug dealers? You want to live dangerously, huh?
Once upon a time.
Lame as hell. You out here, you wasn't raised like that.
I was.
I'm gonna go out here for some danger.
It was only a little period.
What's wrong with you niggas, man? Let me tell you something, man. Say no to drugs. Go ahead.
You all fear my love, no spot in you.
Pause. He said, no, what in you?
No spot in you.
Tell him what spot means.
That's moon, blemish, spot, or defect.
No defect, man. You can read in Job chapter 11, man. That man say if you put wickedness out of your tabernacles, you can lift up your face without spot. See, that's another thing when you sit back and when you look at what his love do. His love removed the defect, the blemish. It removed the sin. He that is born of Elohim do not commit sin. His seed remain in him because the seed within itself, and he bring forth fruit after its kind. He cannot sin because he is born of Elohim, because Elohim can't sin. That's why he say that she, with the washing of water of the word, that she might be without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. You understand? This man want a woman who ain't got no defects, no spots, no blemishes, no nothing. See, we ain't talking about no physical blemishes. He talking about blemishes of character, blemishes of heart, and blemishes of spirit. He said, yeah, my old lady ain't got. He said, you so beautiful. He said, ain't no spot in you. Come on, man. Verse 8, Song of Solomon 4, man.
Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse. With me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amana, from the top of Shinur and Hermon, from the lion's den, from the mountains of the leopards. You have ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse.
You have what?
Ravished my heart.
Tell him what ravish mean, man. You ravished with love. That's what he told you in Proverbs. See, when you putting your hands on a woman, you ain't ravished with love. You ravished with stupidity. You ravished with beta male scent manginitis. You're ravished with pussy nigga-itis. Go ahead, man.
That's labab, to ravish, to become intelligent, to get a mind, to take heart, to become enheartened, to become intelligent.
To become smart. He say, man, I'm ravished with my spouse. I mean, I've become intelligent with your heart. That means I know your heart. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I'm being serious with this here, man, because you know the situations like this come up repeatedly, man. Man, hey, man. You niggas better not be putting your hands on your old lady, man. I'm talking about, don't be doing that jump, man. I don't say some jump like jump might sound funny, but I'm dead serious, boy. Boy, y'all better not be putting your hands on your old lady, man. It's unacceptable. Don't do it. I promise to you, boy, I ain't gonna fool with you. You know what I'm talking about? Cause boy, there's something wrong with you. Don't put you can't be that mad, bro. I wouldn't care what she said, man. I wouldn't care what she did. Because that's when you would know it's time for you to leave. And I ain't talking about leave for the night. I'm talking about leave for good. It get to the point, when you get to the point where you find yourself like, man, I'm going to punch this hole, I'm going to slap her, all that type of stuff. Bro, it's time to go. I ain't say you can't reconcile, but it's time to go. You know what I'm talking about? It's time to go. Because there's something going on in here that ain't even right, boy. Because you shouldn't even have no woman close enough to you that you get angry enough that you feel like that you want to physically accost her. That means you're definitely carnal in that particular instance. You know what I'm saying? And that might mean, and it could be that you ought to be dwelling on the top of the rooftop because you might have a contentious woman in the house. Now, if this woman is not contentious, that means you allowing outside influences going on in your life and you taking that out on her. And you are real goofy for that. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't give a damn what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? You can't come home and take that out on her. You a failure and whatever it is you want. So you mad at her? She didn't do it, nigga. No, I'm dead serious because you know dudes do that. There's stuff don't go how they want to go. You get mad. You want to beat her up and cuss her out. She didn't do it to you. Don't blame that woman for your failures. Them your failures. You notice the key word it says your. That means that's possessive, right? That belonged to you. That's not her fault. Don't blame her for what you ain't did or what you couldn't do. You couldn't do it for whatever reason. Don't blame her for that. Don't bring that to her. Because then that just feel like you go to taking that on the churn. You know what I'm talking about? Now you didn't even went a step further. Because they definitely didn't do nothing to you. At some point, you got to stop messing around and be a man. You know what I'm talking about? And just own it. Okay, things ain't go how I wanted to. I wasn't confident enough. I didn't execute well enough, whatever the case may be. Don't come home taking that out on that woman, man. Keep your hand to yourself, man. You know what I'm talking about? No, matter of fact, don't even keep your hands to yourself. Keep them out in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Because then you might get upset, go in the room, beat your meat. Don't do that either. You know what I'm talking about? Just keep your hands out in the front where you can see them. Keep them off her and off yourself. Go ahead, man.
So you have ravished my heart, my sister, my spouse. You have ravished my heart with one of your eyes, with one chain of your neck. Mm-hmm. How fair is your love, my sister, spouse? How much better is your love than wine, and the smell of your ointments than all spices?
That man say your love better than wine. Your lips.
Oh, my spouse, drop the honeycomb, honey, and milk under your tongue.
The smell of your garment.
Like the smell of Lebanon.
Remember what he said? Now, this is him talking to the woman. So that's why you're not sitting back looking at the wine and thinking, oh, yeah, you know the love. I mean, we could, but we're not. We could, but we're not. Because his love is better than wine. Why? Because the wine is shed for the many for the remission of sins. And his love was better than the wine. Because his love is encapsulated in his heart, of course, is shedding of the blood. And, of course, the smell of your ointments than all spices, because if you can smell the ruach, then, of course, you know that's better than the spices you can put on. But notice it right here, right? He said, your garments like the smell of Lebanon. It took it back what we were talking about with Esau. He said, you smell like the field which you would have blessed. You know what I'm talking about? So when you, as that woman, your garment smell like Lebanon or take on the air that's that sweet smell and savor. And if you remember that sweet smell and savor, that's something that he accepts. That's something that's favorable to him. Continue.
A garden enclosed, my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed.
Now we talked about that, right? It's a spring shut up and a fountain sealed. Remember they said set a seal on that grave, didn't it? It was the same thing. Get Genesis 29:1 real quick. She tapped out real quick too. Yeah. You need to talk to your baby because she was trying to massage my nipples and I didn't like it. No, that just look weird because it's on camera. Because the nigga sitting here cuffing my nipple.
It's weird on camera. I have to lose some weight.
Huh?
You might have to lose some weight. Lose your boobs.
She don't care. That's just what she like to do. and mine aren't like hers. So she's like, you know, I just do it how I can get it.
No, I'm saying if you don't want her going your boobs, you might need to do something.
Then that means I would lose my chest.
No, you just don't want to. If you don't want to, that's another conversation.
Oh, I done lost a lot of fat. I don't. What y'all talking about? I don't need to lose no weight. I just need to lose some fat.
That's okay. You'll get older. You'll figure it out.
I have figured it out. Because we're a good, strong 240 and getting leaner every day. And that's all I need is the body fat gone. The muscle can stay. I mean, who wouldn't want to be muscular? Who wants to be skinny and frail? Actually, it's not.
That's what you were. Until you put in 16 years of work.
So, but I wasn't skinny and muscular. I had the body of a 10-year-old boy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that nigga look like a little boy.
Like I said, you weren't working out. You weren't athletic, so of course you weren't good.
I was athletic. We played sports every day, year round. No, lift weights for what?
Exactly, because athletes lift weights. People that play football, that's all go to the weight room.
Yeah, but most basketball niggas, them niggas ain't got no muscle like that. Niggas is be frail. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
I mean, I grew up with basketball niggas, and them niggas ain't jacked.
I said jack. I said muscular.
Nah, them niggas be lean, so it look like they got some muscle, but they really ain't no muscle in there like that.
I'm just saying for you, me knowing you, and things that can benefit you, you being less weight would be helpful for you in the long run.
I don't need less weight. I need less fat.
Okay, I get you.
That's it. Get lean. That's what we after. Lean, no fat. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost there. It's almost there. The bottom part of my abdominals, which makes it could be a sign my testosterone could be low because they're not cooperating. The top half is cooperating. But we'll say these shorts here, them hold loose. They used to be like that. They used to fit. They don't fit no more. Yeah. Because like I said, man, I ain't worrying about the scale. I'm worrying about the body fat. You know what I'm saying? Shoulder caps pop out on a regular basis. But like I said, I could have low testosterone because I might have gynecomastia. You don't know what that is, do you? Well, look it up. You know what that is? No, look it up.
You said, what is it called?
Gynecomastia. And the only way you can get rid of it is through surgery, which is unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, continue.
To Genesis 29:1.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east, and he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. In front of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone upon the well's mouth. And there were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place.
I did mention that because he says a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Remember he said in Zechariah, we read it Wednesday, he said he'd make a fountain for sin and uncleanliness, right? Come on back to Songs of Solomon, man, because we're running long. Pause. It's 2.5 hours, man. We're going to let it stop right here, though. Your plants. This is verse 13 of Songs of Solomon.
An orchard of pomegranates with pleasant fruits. Campfire with spikenard.
Tell them what an orchid is. He say your plants are an orchid. Orchid or orchid? You know about orchid? They came around here. They charged me a lot of money.
Orchid, man.
Mm-hmm. It's
that's Pardes, a park, a preserve, an enclosed garden, a forest. Park, a forest.
So he said your plants are an enclosed forest or garden of pomegranates. It should take you to think about the Garden of Eden. Enclosed place. Continue.
Say spikenard and saffron, calamus.
Calamus is the word they say that's reefer. That ain't reefer.
And cinnamon with all trees of frankincense, myrrh and aloes with all the chief spices.
That's all trees of who?
all the chief spices.
Don't all trees are what?
Oh, frankincense.
Now notice, right? He said it was all manner of trees in the garden. It could have been trees. We don't know what type of all manner of trees. It only described 2 trees by name. Obviously, the 2 most important trees. Continue.
A fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and streams from Lebanon.
Now listen, right? We read the back end of that verse in Genesis chapter 2. I think we talked about it reading Ezekiel 47 and Zechariah. But you notice he say in this place it's a fountain of gardens, a well of what?
Living waters.
And streams.
From Lebanon.
You know what I'm talking about? That's the same thing that you would see where he wants to place, where he placed his wife or Adam. The same way he gonna place Yasharal is in this particular place. This is what you're gonna get if you guard the fruit. See, if he would have guarded the fruit, that's where Adam would have stayed with him. Mm-hmm. Now read Revelation 2 and 7. He gonna tell you the same thing.
He that have an ear, let him hear what the Ruach saying to the assemblies.
What do you say?
To him that overcome will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Elohim.
So if it's in the midst of the paradise of Elohim, if you keep the fig tree, you'll eat the fruit thereof. Is that not correct? That means you would be in this place of fountain of gardens, a well of living waters with these streams, right? Let's come back to this last verse, man, in verse 16, man, and then we out of here.
Awake, O north wind, and come, you south, blow upon my garden, the spices thereof may flow out.
Let my beloved
come into his garden
and do what?
Eat his pleasant
fruits. Let him come into this place. Let him come into Jerusalem and eat them pleasant fruits, or them first ripe fruits that he desired. He asked for the fig tree, didn't he? He want the fruit of it. He want to be able to partake in your love, joy, and peace. And love. What did he say in Luke 18? When he come on the earth, what are he looking to find? He said, I will avenge you speedily. But when the son of Adam returned, what would he say what is he looking to find? Faith. That faith produced these fruits. But y'all willing, we'll come back with this on tomorrow. So hallelujah for Yahushua word. I appreciate y'all time this evening. I bless you out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Now remember now, tomorrow 2:15, man, you know what I'm saying? You move at a slow pace, nigga, you're gonna be late. And that's gonna be unfortunate for you. But I bless y'all out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Yahuwah willing, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Continuing on down. But if you did pay attention to what we were looking at, in the garden of the fruit will allow you to partake of the fruit. The partaking of the fruit will cause you to live forever. If you don't guard the fig tree, then you can't eat the fruit that the fig tree produced because you didn't keep it, you didn't guard it, you didn't watch over it. Because that's what he gave Adam the garden was, right? To guard and watch over the trees. You know what I'm talking about? And if he would have guarded and watched over the trees, he could have ate the fruit of all the trees thereof. But the one fruit that could kill him, that's the fruit he took part in. We were just looking at it that again. People talking about, I seen Pitbull say, well, I ain't got an iPhone. Why would I have an iPhone? What is that they ate in the garden eating? They ate an apple. What's on the back of the iPhone? A bitten apple. I was like, boy, somebody should have shoot, man. Noriega should have hit him in the head with a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Because he had to be drunk. Yeah, Pitbull the rapper. He said that's why he don't have an iPhone. Because they ate an apple in the Garden of Eden and they got a half-bitten apple on the phone. So it must be something nefarious and evil with that, because look at what they did. But you know what? He's not the first person that I've heard say that. I've heard a lot of people say that's why they don't have an iPhone. Because they believe there's some underlying satanic wickedness behind that, because why they named their company Apple and they have a bitten apple. I'm like, maybe because they like apples. I don't know. Steve Jobs was a homosexual, so there's that. I don't know why he chose to name his company Apple. I seen a reel today where this white man was talking about Starbucks. He said, and don't you bring that crap in my church. If you bring it in my church, I'm gonna put you out. He said, it's true, I fact checked it. I mean, he's not lying. I mean, it's a siren. The Starbucks logo is a siren, a mermaid, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And Artemis, depending on the code. He was saying, you can drink it all you want to, but you better not bring it on my church grounds. And some of the people in the comments was roasting this nigga. He probably said all that with Nikes on his feet. But I'm like, why y'all getting mad at the man? Because the man said, don't bring that in here. He ain't even get spazzed out on talking about you drinking it outside of here. He just said, don't bring no bags, no cups, no none of that with this damnable whore in here. He said, Starbucks is a witch coven. I say, well, I don't know if it's that. because I don't keep up with them people like that. But they do say that they support abortion and things of that nature. So, yes.
Back in the, I think it was late 70s, early 80s, people were telling me not to buy palm olive products because they have a star and a moon in their logo, and that's satanic.
Well, no, I mean the Starbucks logo. Oh, he's 100% accurate. That is a Greek deity. That is a mermaid siren. I mean, that's not even somebody stretching it. He's 100% accurate with that. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't even. I mean, you can look up. Starbucks will tell you this is exactly what this is. We picked it for this reason. It's not like they're not hiding it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Phil Knight didn't hide. I named it after the Greek goddess of victory. I did it on purpose. You know what I'm talking about? It's the same with Ibizu. That's a Japanese god. I mean, True Religion definitely didn't hide that we throwing Buddha on here. I think that's about the only garment companies I can think of that have a false god as a logo or name. I can't think of any other. Because some dude was talking about, you don't like Nike, but what about Adidas? They were Nazis. I don't say who gives a damn if they were Nazis. Those were men. I'm talking about a goddess. I don't give a damn what they did in their personal life. You know what I'm talking about? They were Nazis. So what? You know what I'm saying? You want me to compare white men to white men? I mean, what do you want me to do here? I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think because who's the other one? They were brothers. So the Adi Dassler dude, I think him and his brother fell out, and his brother went and made Puma. You know what I'm saying? I could be mistaken. If it ain't Puma, then it's Puma. He went and made Puma. Because him and his brother did Adidas together, and they fell out, and he went and made Puma. It's like I seen dudes blaming LeVar Ball because his ex-business partner is suing Puma, and LaMelo Ball talking about he stole his shoe. And everybody talking about, yeah, LeVar Ball thought he was this. And I'm like, nigga, he's suing Puma. Yeah, they threw LaMelo in there, but he's suing Puma. He's saying Puma stole my shoe. You know, it just go to show how quick people be able to hate a man, especially a black man who they seem to deem strong, to raise their sons and like this here. Like, he's not the first person who created a shoe company and it failed, and he ain't gonna be the last. You know what I'm saying? It happens. He had more heart and nuts to do most than what most people do, because most people want to sit back and tell you how you're gonna fail while they ain't gonna sit back and do nothing. You ain't even gonna try to make and create nothing, but you want to talk about how the next man gonna fail. I ain't gonna talk down on how the next man get his money, my nigga. That's hating. What's wrong with you? Get your money, my nigga. I hope you get it. I mean, nah, nobody buying them doggone big baller brand shoes, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was charging premium prices for the shoe, and people were complaining about how he gonna charge $500 for some shoe because he want to. And nigga, if you don't want them, you ain't gotta buy them. I ain't finna talk about what a nigga selling this product for. If I'm not paying for that. Like, I don't walk around to my Gucci, want $1,000 for some shoes. That's them. I don't want your shoes. I ain't mad at you. If that's your price point, that's what the nigga problem is. Because they do that in the fragrance community a lot. Ain't no fragrance worth $700. All right, nigga, you really just sound like you mad that you ain't got $700 to buy this bottle and you want them to sell it for what you could pay for it for. Okay, if it's for $700, that means it ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Some people have luxury items, and that's their price point. So what you crying about somebody else's price point for? You ain't got to buy it. You know what I'm saying? You think they're gonna be like, well, these people don't like it for this price, so I'm gonna make it this. But people, I'm talking about them niggas on the internet and the fragrance community niggas and the wrestling community niggas are some of the lamest, goofiest people you'd ever want to hear. It's like, what's wrong with you niggas? But them fragrance niggas though, fragrance niggas, wow, niggas, wow. Like, man, I might look up a fragrance, man, see some review, man, and people be going off. This is a beautiful fragrance, but it's ridiculous that it's $1,000 they're scamming. I'm like, well, nigga, why are you even talking about a fragrance that's $1,000 and the only problem you got with it is that it's $1,000? I mean, it's not for you. I don't see people walking around talking bad about Mercedes-Benz. You already know that's a $100,000 car. You ain't even think about it being because you can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of stuff and I say that because it's a lot of stuff we want it to be accessible. So when you feel like something's not accessible, You talk bad about it. That's why you see a lot of dudes talk bad about women on the internet all day, because certain women are beautiful and they're not accessible to them. So they got to try to say something to them to make them feel bad because I can't access her. So I'm upset about that. Or some women get upset with certain dudes and they talk bad about him because she don't have access to him. So she wants him to make her feel a particular type of way so that I can have access. You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, everything ain't for everybody. It is what it is. Don't mean you're less than a person. You know what I mean? Niggas is weird out here. Weird out here. Like, you got fragrance snobs. Can you believe that? Like, that's designer. I wouldn't wear that. Who gives a damn? You know what I'm talking about? I'll tell you right now. If you got a fragrance, you be like, man, you think this smells good? It don't matter if I think it smells good. Do you think it smells good? That's all that matters, because I ain't got to wear it. You know what I'm saying? People, I don't like that. This thing. Well, I don't give a damn. I like it. Yeah, that's the type of world we live in. It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? You got that even with the word, man. You be on Clubhouse, you could tell you got Israelite snobs, man. Niggas feel like they elitists. I know this and you don't. What's wrong with you niggas, man? You know what I'm saying? That's them New York niggas, man. That's how y'all be. Y'all small arrogant, man. I watched this nigga Cameron. Them niggas was racing. This nigga Gilly, these niggas won the money and tore the nigga money up. That nigga say, let me show you what we do in Harlem when we beat the nigga out of his money. That nigga say, your money ain't no good here. And rip the nigga money. I'm like, these niggas wild, because this nigga's out. You could have just took that money and went and found a nigga who ain't had nothing to give to him and to rip it up. But it's your money. You can do what you want to with it. But I thought that was weird. Or niggas who be like, I like my cigarettes with my money. Nigga, what's wrong with you niggas? This whole world crazy, man. The Lord won't come around that corner fast enough. These niggas insane. But yeah, man, y'all will, man. I'll catch y'all on tomorrow, man. I'm out of here, man. I forgot we ain't stopping at close to midnight no more. But I like it.